Hmm? Oh, that's odd. Mic test. Mic test. We can maybe turn the game up just a smidgen. Maybe turn the game up just a smidgen. We can maybe turn the game up just a smidgen. Hmm? You're bugging. You're bugging. Can't hear the game. Be more important to hear the guests though, so it's okay. Can't hear the game. We could also do a sound check on the other one too. On the 1, 2. Saying that. Oh no. Let's see. Check. Oh no. Yeah, it's loud enough. Right. Righteous. Oh no. Okay, apparently. Can we do the test? Oh, I'm kind of tired. And it is really, really, really hot. Okay, we're gonna want to do a sound check. Why do I always wait until it comes on to start fixing stuff? If there was a way to do the sound checks before I start the stream, that'd be great. But I don't think there is a way to do it. Alright, game's kind of loudish. No, we just gotta make sure our guests can be heard. Start playing. The author of confusion is here. How you doing? Just get a sound check. Yep. Sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound check. That's it. Daytime TV. One more thing. One more thing. Yes, I need to make a new build for my character, man. I want to beat her down. That's the whole point in redoing this whole thing. Right. points we got? Not even close. Where did I lose him? That way. Plen, are you speaking like that on purpose? Doing a little bit of a Yoda thing there. To be fair, we're never going to build a new build if I just keep using the same items every time. But it's so long to level up a whole new set of equipment. And there's too many choices. Sucks. No, fair play to you though. Well, I just asked just in case. What's up, Talon? Talon? What's up, Jonathan? Bro, why would I think Jesus Christ is Lord, bro? Like, he's a landlord, maybe. But beyond that, what Lord, like... Look, so my understanding of a Lord, right, comes from a societal structure. Okay, like aristocrats, feudalism, essentially. So calling a god a lord in that kind of way, or someone who claims to be a god a lord in that way, just speaks to human systems in the first place. You know, so to me, that takes away the chance of him being anything more than a man, in my eyes. It makes it more obvious that it's a human playing a game on other humans. That's just my opinion. Is that him throwing fire from over there? No way. That's where my points are. Oh, nah, he's cheating, bro. How's he got that kind of skill? Ah. Yeah. Yeet. Oof. Just want my points back on me. Yeah. Bro, his powers are OP. How's he able to do that? Oh, well, using fire against him ain't gonna work. But to be fair, I am underleveled for this era anyways. Who told me to run to the castle straight away? It's my own fault. Like, just the guards in this area are ridiculously hard. Remember, like, the last playthrough, it took me, like, maybe 2 weeks to beat Mesmer. On and off. It's, like, ridiculous. What's up, bro? I'm not looking at the chat at the minute, but I kind of just took a glimpse. Just hang tight. Yeah, there we go. What's up, all for us? What's up, Molly? Alright, why is God good? Say this outside. I do say this outside Ghostface. What do you expect to happen? Are you saying that all religious people are just that ignorant that they just have to default to violence because they're not smart enough to talk about a conversation that's been had for 2,000 years? Is that what you're saying? That sucks for you if you think that way. It's very barbaric. No, I don't think God could create something from nothing either, though. That's the problem. If you believe in a God and you believe God created us and the universe, then you believe something can be created from nothing. And if you believe that no one created God, then you also believe something can be created from nothing. If you're a Christian, you believe something could be created from nothing. If you're a Jew, if you're a Muslim, you believe something can be created from nothing. Okay, it's a foundational Abrahamic belief. It's more tied to Christian doctrine. It's known as creatio ex nihilo, which basically means out of nothing in Latin. And it's the doctrine that says God is like the ultimate being. Basically, he can create. Yeah, it just points out his sovereignty over the universe, saying that nothing created him and he created everything from nothing. It's just a foundational belief. So when you talk to an atheist and ask them about things coming from nothing, you're actually talking about your own belief system. Obviously, I don't think things come from nothing. But yeah. But you can feel free to come up and have a talk about it, Abza. Abzavelli. Why the Veli? It's very suspicious. I wish I could be no one, nowhere, doing nothing as well. That'd be great. Machiavelli, huh? So you like a Niccolo Machiavelli. He was quite a schemer, devious, one might even say. Downright evil in terms of the prince. So why would a good believer be infatuated with Machiavelli? It's kind of the opposite of your ideology. Well, your supposed ideology. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, bro. So you can come up and talk to me about it. It'd be much easier than like trying to decipher what you're saying in the chat. Yogurt. Do you read that? Like, is that true? People figured out how to make yogurt. Well, I mean, I guess that's possibly true. Alright, what was I doing before I got here, anyways? Did you mean to write something else? Hummus is older than your religion. That's funny. Alright. Oh, we ain't even close to the points we need. Mic check, 1, 2. Says there's no sound. Check. Yo. What the? Is it echoey for you guys? Yo. Strange. Is it echoing now? How can something be written in my heart? Well, it's just like an organ that pumps blood. So it sounds sweet and poetic, but it's really kind of silly when you think about it. So that's cute, but is it true? No. Of course I know what a metaphor is. I've got quite a good command of metaphors. I'm somewhat a wordsmith myself, you know. You know, Peter, somewhat of a wordsmith myself. Got a pretty good command of metaphor, actually. Nah, not necessarily street dancer. In a way, yeah, but nihilism itself isn't actually a bad thing in the context of religion. Right? So I can't remember the exact definition of nihilism, but in a religious context, it's not actually a bad thing. So nihilism, the rejection of all religious and moral principles, in the belief that, and the belief that life is meaningless. But the first half of that definition is not a bad thing at all. To be able to reject religions. Now, moral principles is a little bit different, right? But yeah, nihilism isn't actually that terrible or terrifying. But you don't have to be a nihilist to be an atheist. Being an atheist is simply just a disbelief in God or gods. That's all that is. You can still have moral principles and values, you know. You can still think life is meaningful. So they're not mutual. So, as long as you're aware of that. But yeah, I mean, of course most people wouldn't care about the nuance, would they? But feel free to request up and you can talk to me about it properly. So I'm just going to get my head in the game for a bit. Let's tune this gum. What's up, Aston? Thank you for the gift. I think it's a gift. This bit was a bit of a difficult error. Around and down, across down. This was a bit of a pain. Yes, Elden Ring. Do you mean invent something they never said? What are you talking about? Have you ever seen a fantasy game? Like the ones on the screen? Like, what you think humans saw those things in existence? Like, you know, you ever seen a Pokemon? Humans invent things that don't exist all the time. What, you think this pays the bills, viral clips? You are deluded, my friend. Pays the bills. It's funny. Hey, what's up, bro? Give me a sec, yeah? I'm about to be attacked by something. Yep. Oh, dead. Chomped. Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Yo, thanks for the gifts, Aston. You're rare. You're cutting in and out, bro.
yeah,
Hmm?
yo,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
What's up, bro? What do you want to talk about?
I mean,
You better not say yeah
the
again.
prompt,
Yeah, sure. What about the prompt?
humans did not invent God.
Okay.
God is everywhere, and it created itself through universal algorithms and connections to elements, and it
So what
exists
type
as
of god are you?
everything.
What type of god are you talking
It
about?
has a body.
Say again.
Um, a common God, a God created by creation, and not a spiritual or
That sounds a bit silly.
religious kind of thing that
That sounds
humans did
silly.
invent
A god
in a
created by
sense. But there
creation.
is a Lord.
That sounds very silly, bro.
Yeah, no, there is a Lord, there's a creator, but
So
you have to
what?
look at the world like a
Does your god have a
matrix
name?
and a game. Every game has admins and developers.
Not admin.
We don't know who they are,
So,
but
all right. So does your god have a name?
yeah, the world has admins.
Does your god have a name?
Not that I know of, because the
Okay.
universe is so big. There's many gods, but
Are you a
there's a
Christian?
whole creator that is part of the whole universe.
Are you a Christian?
Nah, but I know the Lord's real,
All right. So why are you using the word Lord?
because I know the truth. I've seen the truth.
So
I
you're
understand the
not a
truth.
Christian, but you're referring to God as Lord.
Yeah, you don't have to be a Christian to
I think
know
you're a
who
little
the
bit
actual
confused,
creator
bro.
is.
I think you're a bit confused. So are you a pantheist?
Not really.
Are you a pantheist? Bro dropped. Thanks for coming up though. That was cute. Okay. I don't. Well, if you're a Christian, like, don't be ashamed to be a Christian. Like, there's this like, it's not new. It's been happening from ages ago. I feel that's kind of like there was like deny me 3 times and like I'll disown you kind of thing. But like, there's this thing where people are just ashamed to own up to what they actually believe in and just fully identify as it. So they just like wiggle their way around it in any possible way. I think it's because they're somewhat aware of the bad things that's associated with it. So they don't want to be associated with the bad things, but they want to be able to have the good and not the bad. It's like you can't. I understand your pain there, but you can't get away with that in the real world. It's just disingenuous, you know. Just be who you are, man. Just be it wholeheartedly, or be a worm. I'm not saying that he was a worm, but that's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't have any religious beliefs. All right, where was I before I got chomped by that enemy? It was underground somewhere. Yeah, this area can be annoying. I remember now. So I found an elevator and I went downstairs. Hmm, possibly this way. Hello?
Yo,
How you doing, bro?
what's your name?
It's Set. What's your name?
You said Sep or Seth?
S-E-T.
S-E-T?
Yeah, what's your name?
Okay. My name's Ricky.
Nice to meet
You
you,
seem
Ricky.
pretty cool, man. What game are you playing?
Playing Elder Ring.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I never played it.
It's worth
The
playing.
premise is humans invented God. It changed my mind. So, what do you mean by God? Like, what's the definition of God? Your functioning definition.
So I'm using God as a category definer. It's just like a word to define a category of deities, supernatural entities, etc.
Oh, so you're saying humans invented deities?
All types of gods. So I'm just using the word God as a title for all different types and variations of it.
Yeah, no, I agree that humans did invent many deities, but I was just wondering what you meant by God because uh, I'm a bit ambiguous on this. I guess I'm kind of like a little bit more open to hear like what you uh, think about it all, because everything's kind of it's really hard to pin down what's really going on. The universe is like kind of spooky.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of spooky. But what do you believe, though? You can
Like
start there.
like I see. I actually I don't subscribe to really any religion, but like I do have like reservations about like spiritual concepts. Like I do think that like something probably pre-existed like the material world.
Okay. Why do you think that, though?
It's just I just don't see how we're here. I mean, it's kind of a hard question that hasn't been answered, and that doesn't necessarily mean that God is the answer, but I think something definitely pre-existed the material world.
So where do you get
Because
that
where did it come
idea
from?
from? Have you
Where do I
thought?
get the idea
Have you
from?
ever thought about where you got the idea from in the first place?
Yeah, man, you're probably gonna laugh at me because I was actually like a pretty hardcore atheist, like material reductionist type, and then I did DMT,
Okay. So why was you an atheist before?
and that was like kind of a profound experience that made me think like, man, there might be more to the shit than just like what's in front of me.
Why was you an atheist before, though?
But I don't subscribe to any holy book though. If that's the premise, is like, did humans create religion? I think 1,000%.
Yeah, that's a given. But why were you an atheist before you did DMT?
Uh, no religion at that time had really ever spoke to me. I guess is probably the reason.
So you just grew up atheist, or no?
Now I grew up around. I live in America, so I mean, most of the people that you meet that are religious are Christians. But so I was around the church, as at a very young age, but probably around middle school, I think, is when I made the decision that I was an atheist.
What was it that made you do that?
What was it that made me do that?
That
Man,
made you make that decision?
man, it was a long time ago. Let me think about this, because how old are you?
It doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
I'm old enough to be on the internet. I can tell you that much.
Is that I didn't know there was an age limit.
Oh yeah, there is definitely an age limit. You have to be over 18. And for some things, probably over 21. But yeah, don't worry. I'm old enough to be on the internet.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was just saying because I'm like 27, so middle school is kind of a long time ago for me.
Fair play. I mean, I don't know what kind of age range that is in America. Our systems work a little bit different.
Oh, like middle school? Middle school is you're probably like 12, 13 around that time.
Okay. So that's when you decided to become
But
an
I don't know,
atheist.
man. So to get back to the subject though, like
Hmm.
uh, I was just an eight. Like that was just the decision I made. I didn't see any God. I hadn't spoke to any God, and so I decided that's what I believed in.
So you was an atheist all the way up till when?
Well, up until like I said, I did some DMT, and that moved me out of the space of being like a pure material reductionist into like more open to like spiritual, uh, like the possibility that there's more than just the material world.
Yeah, but seeing that you used a
Like
chemical
to be honest, I
substance,
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be. You said what?
well, seeing that you used a chemical substance, like your experience would be accounted for under a materialist view, anyways.
You said hello. You said what?
So, considering that you used a chemical substance, right, the DMT, what you experience would be accounted for under a materialist view, anyway.
Oh, 1,000%. I agree. No, the experience was entirely subjective. I'm not saying that it was an object. I'm not saying it was objective. I'm saying that is what shifted my perspective.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'm not
I
saying the
understand what you
DMT is.
mean from a personal level. I get what you mean, but I'm just saying. So even if you were an atheist and a
Well,
materialist, and then you
well,
took
you asked
DMT,
you.
no, no, I'm
Go,
just to
go ahead.
explain it, right? Even if you were an atheist and a materialist, and you took DMT, the experience that DMT induced in you could still leave you being a materialist, anyways, right? You wouldn't necessarily just become something else, or an idealist or something.
Yeah, no. The DMT isn't the basis of any argument. You asked what
Mm.
I believed in. I said I was an atheist for a long time, and then I had a subjective experience on a chemical
Hmm.
that made me ask a question of maybe there might be more. I never said that was the basis of my argument. I was just saying
Yeah,
that that's what shifted my mindset.
yeah, that's cool. I just making that clear because like some people would be like, oh, like doing drugs basically makes you spiritual. No, that's not really the case.
Yeah, no,
Because
I know a
that
bunch
could
of
be the
girls
impression
like I
that
know
people get.
I know a bunch of girls that are like that.
I mean, like, people are like, just like popular culture can just mess with people's minds and how they perceive things. You know, like the whole Joe Rogan kind of rendition. You know, I did psilocybin. Now I'm enlightened, like kind of shit. That's just like
So you've never.
popular culture just seeping into people's minds, kind of thing.
I agree. I actually think I saw a video where it was talking about blind people taking DMT and they didn't see anything.
Well,
So
that's
how
fucked up.
so how do you what that would kind of prove that like you're not necessarily going to a spiritual realm, if blind people aren't, they should be able to see something if you actually go somewhere, on it, like how some people think, you go to a different realm.
Well, yeah, it's obviously just it's a chemical trip in it. You're a biochemical being, so if someone messes with your chemical balance, then yeah, things are gonna go wonky, aren't they? It's just a, it's just a given.
That's a fact.
So,
No, yeah, we are biochemical beings.
so yeah, just it's
So,
expected.
what do you think about? So, what do you think about? And once again, this is popular culture seeping in, as you said. What do you think about like simulation theory? Like, you think
It's an interesting
there's
idea.
any merit to that? You think there's any merit to that?
I mean, it's possible, but how could I know? Right? Well, there is a way to know, but it's like who's willing to try, right? But yeah, it's an interesting idea, but the thing that always hits me, that strikes me about it is, right, say like you're using the idea of a simulation theory to kind of cope with this reality the way it is. If it is a simulation, you'd still have to be confronted with the reality of where your real body is as well. So like say the simulation
Yeah,
ends and you take off the headset, you still have to be confronted with the reality where you really are outside of the simulation. So it kind of just kicks the can down the road kind of thing.
yeah, bro. I've never heard anybody explain it that way. That's true.
So it
Like,
doesn't really solve
it
anything.
would be hard. It would be hard to know where the base reality is and where it would come from. And I don't know, like you said, pop culture kind of does influence people because, like, whenever electricity was new, everybody was saying the universe is energy. You know, whenever the Industrial Revolution happened, everybody was saying that the universe is a machine. You know, so like now that computers are in, everybody, I agree, it is kind of a code.
Yeah, that's a good view actually. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
the truth
everybody's kind
is,
of.
we don't really know. You know, that's the point. We're trying to figure it out. Everyone's got different approaches to figuring what this thing is, but we don't really
I
know
agree
with
with that 1,000.
certainty.
I agree. I agree. No, yeah, nobody really knows. Do you think? So you think whenever we die, we're done? You think?
Probably, like, there's not good evidence of anything else happening. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I kind of hope so. I kind of hope this shit will end. I don't want to be reincarnated.
I mean, I wouldn't frown at being reincarnated. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'd take a second try at life, no doubt. Right? But it doesn't seem
Yo,
likely.
so earlier I said something. You kind of giggled. You said when I said the universe is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
You kind of giggled, and I just wanted to clarify like something I think about sometimes in it. And I wonder about it. I don't know if you've heard about like the double slit experiment or
Yeah.
like wave conjugations like collapsing.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, like bro, like what is the fabric of reality really at the end of the day when you're confronted with like
I
those
don't,
types of physics, you know?
I don't know, right? But I think again, popular culture has taken a little tidbit from quantum mechanics and like blown it out of proportion. It's like if you actually go talk to a physicist or a quantum physicist that studies this stuff, they'll say the average person like really has no understanding of what they're talking about with a double slit experiment.
Oh no, no, yeah, I
It's
don't
like a
understand it. I'd be lying. Yeah, I don't understand it.
I don't either, but the little I do understand, I can say how it's been used in popular culture is what the double slit experiment actually was. So people tend to take this view of consciousness determines reality based on this double slit experiment, but that's not actually what the experiment was about.
I know, but it does kind of confront the question of like, what is the fabric of reality? Like what are electrons made of? You know, what are atoms made of? Like these different pieces
Yeah,
of
they're really good questions.
because you can't point to like where like just because we look at pictures of atoms and it's got the the protons, the neutrons, the electrons, and we think that that's like what it looks like, but you actually can't really point to an electron. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but
because the wave conjugation collapses. You know what I'm saying?
although what you're saying might be absolutely accurate, and I'm not 100% certain myself, to me it is still a mystery, being that I don't study the sciences like that. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there are people who are smarter than me who've got a greater understanding of it. Do you know?
Yeah,
And
that's the only thing.
I hold
Like
the
that's
view
what I
that
wanted to talk
if
to.
it's possible to know, at some point humans will know it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, or we might not. You know, I think there's probably a greater
Maybe.
chance that we'll never know.
Maybe. I mean, as pessimistic as I am, I'm quite optimistic in the bigger picture of where humanity's heading, like progress wise. So I do think if it's possible to know, at some point humanity as a species will know. Like the pattern of history just demonstrates that to be the case. If it's possible to know, eventually we'll find out.
Which pattern?
Just a pattern of human history. Right? Us basically going from like less than Neanderthals to the stage that we're at now, like the age of technology, age of information, etc. The sciences, philosophies, the liberal arts, etc. So we went from a state of not knowing, like animals, like this deer here, to being on this horse here. So given that pattern, we're likely to continue that trajectory to more and more knowledge, to more and more insight. That's my opinion, right? Whether it's true or not, I can't
Yeah,
say.
if we make it off the planet, that'll probably continue.
I mean, yeah, that's a part
At
of
some
it,
point,
but
it'll end up.
I don't think it's necessary that we
At
leave the
some point,
planet though. But it's
well,
part.
the
That's a
planet's
part of
gonna
it.
die eventually, right?
But yeah, the whole universe
Our
is gonna
star will die
die.
eventually, right?
The whole universe is gonna die.
You said what?
Well, at least how life is configured currently, right? Everything will end in a
Well,
heat
because
death.
we've
So
seen
yeah,
all this, we've seen star deaths, all across the universe. So,
yeah,
considering the star is like a big burning pile of gas, you would think at some point that energy is gonna give out. So that's kind of the
Well, yeah,
basis of that
our sun
assumption.
will, yeah,
But
our sun will eventually burn out. So will our solar system. Like I just said, like the way that scientists explain it as a layman, non-scientist saying this, the universe as we understand it now is gonna change. It won't stay this way. It's changing as we speak. So that's true. But I'm just saying, in terms of being able to gather knowledge, if it's possible to know, I have faith that we'll be able to know it, whether or not we leave the planet. You know. But yeah, I do think it's likely we're gonna leave the planet too.
yeah, I hope so. That should be cool.
Not last lifetime though.
Yeah, dude, that'd be badass. Yeah, no, man, I probably suck because the premise is like change your mind. I damn near didn't even really want to. I was more so like curious what you thought about because I don't really have a firm stance myself. Like I can tell me and you kind of have that in common where you're like, man, if I needed to know, we will know at some point. But at the same time, who gives a fuck, you know?
I'm like that to an extent on some things, but this is one thing I'm pretty certain of currently, that humans invented God, and all types of gods, all known gods, are all human inventions. I'm pretty certain on that. But again, I could be wrong, so there's the room for it to be changed, you know.
Yeah, that's why I asked what your definition that you were running with because that is a code I see too. Like the definition of God is like it's like constantly changing. Like the goalposts, like they move the goalposts every time. You know.
Of course, they have to, right? Because God is whatever the mind wants it to be. That's why there's so many different thousands of types. Me and you could claim to be in the same religion, follow the same book, and have a complete different conception of what God is, how it operates, and how it doesn't operate, even though we claim we're talking about the same thing. So yeah,
Yeah, I
it
agree
has
with
to.
that. I think that was one of the things about religion that kind of turned me off, actually.
And what's that exactly?
When you said like, basically two people could have the same religion, but their ideas about the religion are different, and then like you get into, these, debates where you got like more radical people that believe certain things, and then you got other people that believe. You get what I'm saying? It kind of makes it hard to be like, well, I'm gonna just plant my flag in this when it doesn't seem like you guys even agree on what it is that you believe in the first place.
Yeah, of course. You know, that's a contributing factor to why I say what I say. There's no Alright, so there's no book you've ever seen that didn't come from a human mind. There's no language, there's no concept that was
I
formulated
agree
into
with that
language
1000%.
that didn't come from a human mind, whether it was based on observation or just internal generation. It was filtered through a subjective experience of a human, and it was, conveyed to you via another human. So that being the case, there's no reason to say that what they're talking about is an actual objective truth, and not just a belief or an opinion, or a description based on their subjectivity.
Yeah, no, 1000%. No, I agree with that. Because I was just telling my girlfriend, I was like, isn't this kind of crazy? Like, you know, supposedly, like you're supposed to go to hell if you're not a Christian or whatever. But I was like, what about people that can't read? Like what if you can't read the Bible? Like, are you gonna go to hell for that?
Whereas there's so much terrible, like, silly contradictions in these religious beliefs. It's no point getting into the minutiae, really. What about everyone that existed before the religion? It's all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah,
On the face of it,
exactly.
it's just silly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on a lot of shit actually, because I guess the only thing I am kind of floating out there and possibly disagreeing with you on, or not even disagreeing, because like I said, I'm not sure myself, is we just have all these weird questions. It just makes me wonder what's the answer. Like the creation of the universe it's just this big mystery, and I don't know. I think some people use God as a placeholder for the answer, kind of like how you said, but I don't know. I guess I'm just more open to there being maybe an energy or maybe something that pre-exists, the material world.
Alright, fair as though, bro. So it was nice talking to you, but what I'm gonna have to do is reboot the stream now because we started talking about that stuff. I think the algorithm's like, oh, they're talking about
All right, see you later.
D-rugs. Alright, so I appreciate you. Alright, guys, come back in a minute. I'm gonna reboot the stream, or should we give it a couple minutes to see if the flag fluctuation changes. But I think it's because we was talking about derugs. I think that's why. So I'm just gonna reboot it. Stay on the safe side. It sucks that the internet is like that. It's so hot as well. It's 28 degrees. Have a drink of water. Bloody hell. We gotta do sound check again. Ooh, almost went off the sides. Let's see what we got. Hey, thanks for tapping that like, man. Appreciate you as always. Alright, mic check. Check. 1, 2. That's it. Alright. Yeah, because it was obviously something strange was happening there. But hey, it could just be the time. Cool, thanks for letting me know, Elevator. Appreciate that. Now this area is a pain. What I want to do, might as well give up on those points and get them back. Just try to run through to the boss itself. Take this thing out. I really do want to play Zelda, but it's just it's a hassle trying to figure out the buttons and all the like extra mechanics while playing it. This game, I know it well enough to not really have to think while I play it. I really do want to finish Zelda. Or should I give should I show you lot the Hell Simulator? It's called Agony. Give that a try when we play this. It's definitely gonna get us reported though, 100%. The restart's not looking too good as well. Dude! What? You shouldn't be able to hit me while I'm laying down. I swear down, in this DLC, it takes so long to get up. I don't know why. What? That's how you that. Not seen that before. Yeah, I might have to restart it again. It's not showing it to anybody. So I'm saying humans invented God. Come on over to TikTok. Change my mind. Oh. What do you mean, Phyllis? That doesn't make sense. Why should you think Jesus was a god? He could have just been a fraud. Why should you think he was actually God? Well, yeah, there was like, in my opinion, there still are no gods. Gods are just a human construct. It's just an immaterial idea, a tool that people use in different ways. God was invented by Jesus. What is it you actually mean to say? Right, let's not stop and fight randoms if we can help it. I agree. Moha. But although gods have been used for control, like in the past however many thousands of years, I think the initial invention of God wasn't to control people. It was to try and explain things that people didn't understand. I didn't have the the tools to understand it. Man of words, that's rough. I mean, there are smart people who believe in God too. It's just that they have a cognitive bias. Like, beliefs are very powerful things. So even though you could be like really intelligent, you can still believe something really stupid in another field. For instance, like let's say, look, Einstein, one of the greatest minds ever known to man, right? He still believes strange things. Like he had physics and maths locked down, but he didn't have human relationships locked down because he married his cousin, right? So you can be like, put it this way, what I'm trying to say is intelligence in one area doesn't necessarily translate to another area. That's what I mean. So yeah, there's definitely some smart people that are believers, but it's something to be said for the inverse correlation with religiosity and intelligence, which has been studied quite well. So is that for the average person, anyways. Oh yeah, kind of fearless. It's kind of true. I can't remember the. No, I haven't actually looked into the etymology of the word God specifically, but I know there's like thousands of different names for what we call gods. That's why when I say God, I just use it as a category definer. So like I could be talking about Thor, could be talking about Shango, could be talking about Yahweh, could be talking about Jesus, but I use God as the title to the category of like deities or supernatural entities. So yeah, I get that the word God was invented, of course, like all words are invented. But I'm talking about the fundamental concept of what gods are supposed to be. To me, those are inventions also. There's not there's not representations of them in existence, in my opinion. So I haven't seen any evidence of that. Johan, if there was a god, I wouldn't feel any ways. I would have some questions for it though, like very serious questions. But yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to a god existing. I'm not. I may be anti-religion, but I'm not anti-theist. You know. I know a lot of people think of those things as the same thing, but I'm against the systems and the institutions of religions and the things that religions have done in the past. But I'm not necessarily against the idea of a god existing. I just currently understand that idea to be a human invention for various different reasons. That's all. No, I'm an agnostic atheist. I'm definitely atheist because I don't believe in God or gods. But I'm not against the existence of a potential God. So that's the agnosticism. Or better yet, there are things in the universe that I simply don't have access to knowing. So that would be the agnosticism. I can't take a position on something I don't know about, But in terms of gods like Yahweh, Shango, Inanna, Ishtar, Jehovah, Jesus, whoever, I'm atheist to them because I don't believe in them. Well, yeah, Newton's a good example as well, but right, so it's interesting that you said he was an alchemist. So I got this book called Sacred History, and it has like a chapter on Newton and his like strange ideas. Newton was also an occultist, right? Whilst being a Christian, whilst being a crazy mathematician and a low key genius. So yeah, like the intelligence in one area doesn't necessarily translate to other areas. Like, and to like paraphrase Graham Oppy, there are no authorities in philosophy and theology. There is no, this guy's word is final about this matter. There's nobody like that. It's just this school of thought that people practice and like, delve deep into. You could say like they have, people can have influence in schools of thoughts and philosophy and theology. There's no final say, because it's really about exchange of ideas. So that being said, like in maths, you would take Newton's opinion quite seriously. In physics, you take Einstein's opinion quite seriously. But in social matters, in relational matters, theological matters, philosophical matters, they're not afforded that same type of authority. No, there's no guests. No one's called in, so that's why you can't hear anyone. That's why I'm just yapping. If someone wants to call in, then that would all change. Oh, we're dead. Come on, boy, run. Run, boy, run. To call in, you gotta come to TikTok, set West 10, and hit the little icon with the blue man and the red man. Yeah, it should be there at the bottom of the screen of the chat. Oh, what he can? How can he possibly reach in here if he's facing the other way? I hear people are actually capable of beating those golems, but I can't see a way to do it yet. We safe? I don't think we're safe. I can see trees falling. Oh, yeah, I think we're good. Alright, so one of these things... Oh, you little shit. Ran away. There's an item you have to use to unlock these. What? Bugs in the game and in real life. Right. That's not bad. That's true. Oh, I never use those items. Yes. What's up? I don't think, like, the invention of gods actually does help provide meaning. It just passes the buck. So then you just have to consider, what's the meaning of God's existence then? If he's just like... So he'd be like eternally trapped in some ridiculous configuration which isn't even of his own choosing. So it really... I don't think God solved that infinite regress problem either. You know? So I don't necessarily think coming out of a God is going to solve the problem of meaning and purpose. I think that's just always going to be a subjective thing based on what you value or disvalue. So I don't think that would help. But yeah, if you want to come up, we can talk about it. But what I need to do right now, I'm about to get over there. Yeah, some people might hold that view that life is inherently meaningless. Now you can be optimistic with that view, and you can be pessimistic. Like someone was saying earlier on, they think atheism equals nihilism. Not necessarily. But yeah, you could think life is meaningless and still have like quite an optimistic, happy life. You could think life is meaningless and have a very pessimistic, dreadful life. It just depends on you, how you decide to frame it. Thanks for tapping the like, I appreciate that. We had to restart the stream, so it's probably not getting sent to anybody. It's the second time. Algorithm's not nice to smaller channels, I think. Could be wrong. Maybe. I'm not fully informed on absurdism, all of it. I've heard bits and pieces, but I don't know. I don't know if that's something I can agree with. Again, although I think certain things, I'm also quite aware of how much of the things I think are based on indoctrination as well. Nah, I disagree, Tim. In fact, I think spirituality, souls, all that are completely vacuous unless you're put into the mind. So those terms themselves are so ill-defined that one could say they are essentially meaningless. Took damage. Yeah, most people don't like to frame spirituality as the mental anymore, like how the Greeks and stuff used to. Oh, I'm stuck. Crazy. That sucks. I kind of don't even want to play this right now. I've got a new game we could give a try. This is the Hell Simulator. Agony. Let's go play this. Like I said, Tim, me personally, I'm not someone who can say, oh, I figured life out, I know the meaning, I know the purpose. I don't. I really don't. I ask myself all the time what the point is. But at the same time, through that journey of questioning things, I've also come across the God problem, whether God gives it meaning and purpose. And I find that it doesn't, because it's just an explanatory tool. It's like a temporary cope, like a middle stage. So, yeah, I would like to know the meaning and purpose of life also. Well, I don't. I think invoking God specifically through a religious lens muddies that water. It makes it even less likely.
Alright, Red, sorry.
Oh, look who it is. What, meeting at the Conduit Club finally on?
Oh, we've got different powers now.
Wanted to talk to her, okay? See if maybe she could help us out.
The light's too bright, man.
What? I lost
You know
smoke?
someone like that should
What's
be
the
free
point of
from
getting your power? Are you forgetting who else is someone like that?
Oh, no, that's almost a request now that the bloody game's got us a bunch of talking in it. Alright, 1 second, bro. I'm going to accept your request. Just let this talking bit finish so it's not distracting. The guy's still in the corner.
I need to see what else this new power can do. And you are my go-to guy when it comes to finding the core reason.
Going to accept your request. Just hang tight, yeah?
There, I sent it. For the tribe and you.
Thank you. I'll let you know what I get.
No, I don't want to know what you get.
Bye, Tony Reggie.
So now he went from stealing smoke to stealing light.
Boxes the Dukes put up all over town? Well, I think
Man, spare chat.
figured out a way to use them.
Is there a way to just turn down the talking? The menu sucks as well.
More powers for me. I was gonna try it out.
Options would be
Here's the
nice.
power you gave me. And I thought maybe you'd like to tag along, you know, and talk me through the new stuff.
I already bagged my deal of limits today, so why the hell not?
There's my sweet girl.
You done?
It's supposed to be one of those things that second in name.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Meet you there.
Alright, I think they're done. Sup, Centaur. Hey, Manuel just he dropped down. Just about to accept you, bro. It's a shame. Ah, that's how you do it. Okay. There we go. Alright, so someone else can request up if they would like to. Well, the problem is, if you think God exists and God created everything and no one created God, then you do think something can come from nothing. Whereas me, I try to abstain from making certain claims about how the universe comes about. You know? But just from a normal, like, naturalistic, like, somewhat scientific approach, we have explanations for how the Earth comes about, how the universe comes about, or at least the known, observable universe. And all of those explanations don't entail stuff coming from nothing. So, if you were to compare the two, a belief in God and creationism is to believe something can come from nothing, versus the belief in, you know, the Big Bang, abiogenesis, speciation, evolution, is to believe that matter is pre-existing in some form. And for matter to be pre-existing, then the space and time is also pre-existing. But that's me, a layman, trying to explain it. I'm sure if you spoke to someone more educated about it, they could explain it better. Yeah, see, again, that's another one of those contradictory views that religion opens you up to, and not in like a dialetheism type of way either. To say that God exists outside of space and time is nonsense by human standard. And for any human to be able to make a certain claim about that, they need access to that. Like, there's how you inferring it. Yeah, so it's gonna be weird, no matter how you frame it. What? Oh, I have to hold the button now? Oh, he doesn't have to go through the holes anymore. That's great, but I haven't got these neon to fight back with. Can I take that? Bro, what? Why are you acting as if neon is like, what? That is so gimmicky, man. Alright, so yeah, feel free to request up. We'll have a talk about it if you want. Or not. Hey, crazy name. No, I didn't mean to do that. That's gonna be bad karma. Hello?
Easy, Dave.
How you doing, bro?
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, not too bad, mate. You?
Not too bad, bro. Interesting name you got there. Forced obligation.
It's my awakened name, mate. Yeah.
It's your what?
Forced. My awoken name.
What does that mean?
My name, myself, being awake. Yeah, was defies up what
Oh, you
I went through, what I've been through, etc.
you're breaking up a little bit, bro.
But anyway, I got a question. So you're not a believer of God, right?
No.
No. Do you believe in evolution?
I mean, I think it's true. That's what I could say.
No, evolution's true. So we'll jump the whole creation of the universe, like all the minerals, the elements, etc., and we'll go straight to the single cell organism. How
Okay.
was that created?
Yeah, I think the way to think about it is not to say it was created, because it's like implying there's a creator.
So it created itself through a natural occurrence.
I don't know.
You don't know. So how
So,
can you believe in evolution if not
well, I
there?
didn't tell. I
So
didn't
you
tell you.
believe
I didn't tell you I believe in it. I said I think it's true, right? As an explanatory device.
it's more true than the fact that there was a God.
Yeah, it's way more easier to prove evolution than a god existing.
Because, like I say, both variations of concept come from man itself. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we
but-
are very curious.
so
we
evolution-
identify who we are.
Evolution is something
How we
that's
was created,
observable. Evolution is something that's observable. Gods inherently aren't something that's observable.
Yeah, assuming that reality is, not all collaborated and fake and
Well,
we are simulated, etc.
How people define
On that
God.
concept.
How
It
people
teaches
define
how-
God.
How it could have been created.
No, but think about it. How people define
That's
God.
right. Well, like
You
I say, the
couldn't.
Bible
You
itself
wouldn't be
and
able to
Quran-
observe God. Right? You realise that?
There's so many subjects that you have to study in order to conclude with the fact of whether evolution was correct or there was a God. I myself being awake,
Do you know both
and
could be
studied
true?
so many
though?
subjects that this planet has. I believe that not only is there a God, evolution happened as well. But when you calculate how time and space happened itself, when the universe has calculated everything on how everything fit together, it automatically knew, like say, a diamond records everything that happens through its evolution, right? From being a ruby, going
So,
through
so
decomposing.
you, so
being
you
through,
do believe
Wait.
evolution is true, though.
I believe that evolution is true, yes, but I also believe that God is real. I'm not a
So-
Christian. I'm not a Muslim.
So why did you present it as if there was a dichotomy between creationism and evolution?
Because, like I say, what you're not missing the point is like I say, you can't believe in evolution without all of the facts, and you can't believe in religion or God without all of the proof.
They're
Yeah.
not even close to the
therefore,
same
like,
thing.
What statement everybody is arguing about? Do you know what I mean? Because nobody understands the depth of which understanding each subject would require.
Yeah, I
to
agree.
then go forward.
I agree. Both of those things require in-depth study, right? And I'm just a layman in all matters. But that being said,
You can't study the Bible to conclude there's a God.
say again.
Not study all the laws of physics,
No,
etc.
no, you don't.
You know,
No, you don't. Right. So a
not
god.
toward-
If we think about what a god is
Yeah.
first, we have to start with what the definition of God is, and then we can know what to expect from that definition, and then we go about looking for evidences for it. But if you don't establish
get
what a
that.
god is, you ain't got nothing to know to look for in the first place. Now, from my searches, right, arriving at a definition of God leads me to the invention of God by humans, right? Not God existing independently of us. That is what I haven't managed to find any evidence of yet.
Yeah, no, we're independent in ourselves. You know, God is just the creator. Do you know what I mean? God is just something that organised us to become who we are.
That's
I mean, we
something
are
you
all a
can say.
variation of God.
No, that's something you can say. That's something
Yeah.
you can believe, but it's not something you can demonstrate.
No, that's right. No, but I could say, if I knew you personally, can you, are you got very good mind over matter? Can you flash your hand open on purpose without any thingy, knowing that it's not going to hurt you if you did that?
Say that again, sorry?
Could you take a razor blade and slice your hand knowingly that you can't die and
Yeah, I wouldn't
you
do
can't feel
that.
pain?
I wouldn't do that. I'm a normal
Why
human.
not? Because you're a normal human being. But
Yeah,
what
it's
stops you
it's
from
it's
doing that?
because it's
Have you
irrational. Because it's irrational. That would put my
Not
survival.
rational, because you can't die from doing it. Yeah,
Of
it's not
course
gonna
you could.
affect you. It's
Right?
gonna,
So any kind of injury, like our minds have developed or evolved to protect us from injury
that's right,
because
it's
it.
got to do with the way that our minds develop. Correct.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
So
because
like,
it's a hindrance to our survival, right? A wound is a hindrance to survival. Okay, so I wouldn't intentionally
I've
wound
learned that by
myself.
saying,
That wouldn't make any sense, would it?
well, no, but like I'm saying, to prove to yourself that you are not real for yourself.
That's nonsense to me. Why would I do that?
You know, all of this fabricated information that we're being, created for, was created for to analyze it all and
Your
put
mic
it
is
into a category and into order. That's
your
what
your
God
mic is
created
your
us
mic is
for.
very
God,
muffled, bro.
God had the
Hello,
ability
hello.
to do this himself.
Bro, your mic is very muffled. If you could like see if you could sort out the mic a bit, because
I'm on a shit
I
phone,
can't
don't
hear
do
you
it
properly.
technology.
I can't hear you properly. I need to be able to hear you
No, it's my
properly.
phone, mate. I'm on a 1974 phone.
No, you ain't. Get off. You're on
Right, well,
TikTok.
anyway,
You're on TikTok. What are you talking about? You're on a smartphone. Clearly, you might just be too close to your mic, or like you're not muffling it or something.
It's like saying I've got a very outdated phone. Plus, I don't have an internet connection either. I'm screaming on me tethering, so.
Well, so much for mine never
No.
matter then, alright? Anyways,
I don't
right?
agree with technology,
Do
mate,
as best as we can.
lesser evil.
We do the best we can. Right. So what is the main point you
Well,
would like to
I
talk
say,
about?
The main point is I just don't get why you're trying to persuade people that there is no God when you don't understand the full concept of what you believe in. So what do you actually
So
believe
what
in
gives
then?
you what
is
gives
your
you the
theory of-
impression that I'm trying to persuade people that there's no God?
So you're saying that humans invented God. Humans invented everything God created.
That doesn't make sense.
So, of course it does, because like I say,
That
God
doesn't
is
make
just
sense.
a being with thought.
All right. So
do you know what I mean? And
that's
he's got
yeah.
to create
That speaks to
thought.
your personal view on what God is, right? And that speaks to what I'm saying, that it's an invention of humans. It's an immaterial concept. So forced obligation. Listen, forced obligation can think God is one thing. Then John can think God is one thing. Then Jane can think what God is one thing. But there's no cohesiveness between all of those things apart from the human part of it. That's the only through line between all God concepts, that they come from human minds. That's the only through line. So when you're telling me God is this, God is that, it's on you to present that as truth and not just an opinion. Do you know?
Yeah. But like I say, what we're discussing here is a 6 and 9 theory. You're stood one side of the 6. I'm stood the other side of the 6. To you, it's a 6. To me, it's a 9.
Not necessarily, no.
I mean, it's an unsolvable argument because the rules are you're not allowed to look at it from my perception, and I'm not allowed to come to your side and visualize your perception.
No, that's not necessarily true,
That's
right?
That's the rules of the 3-6.
So,
the 3-6.
Consider
3
this,
and 6
right?
theory.
Consider this.
Yeah?
At a certain
Because,
point,
like I say,
I
if
believed
was
in
able
God
to
as
come to-
well. So I've been
say,
on
oh,
your
well,
side of the
I can-
table.
that's
Bro, we can't hear you.
Yes, but like I say, I don't exactly believe in God. There's a difference between believing and knowing.
Alright, so you're not the first person to say that, right?
Do you know
So
what I mean?
what makes you certain that you know God then? Bro, we can't hear you
Because
properly.
I've spoke to him. That's why.
And what was that like? What did that entail?
On,
I can't hear you, bro.
it's very euphorical when you're speaking to God. I'll tell you that.
Alright, so what was the process
It's
of
very
that?
euphorical when you're speaking to God.
What was the process of
When you
that?
understand what the man's coming back to you, yeah.
Hey?
Well, like I say, I did very deep research. Now I studied everything from genetics, neurology, etc. All of the dark subjects that people think, geometry, everything like that. You know what I mean? And I opened up my pineal gland through research, not through any psychedelic drug. I opened my brain up through research from understanding everything, right? So as
Okay.
soon as I accessed the temple in my mind, which is the pineal gland, that's when I was put into contact with God.
But your pineal gland's not even in your mind, but that's it's
Yeah,
different conversation.
Same process that I went through. In 10 years, I broke myself down individually. I got to a point where I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, and my brain was just alive. Do you know what I mean? I'd never felt more alive when I'd not been eating for 9 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but you'd also
Like, have you ever
you'd
not
be
eaten?
quite delusional too, wouldn't you? You
Well,
realize
no,
that,
that's
right?
what the mainstream.
No.
Because, like I say, that's your mainstream.
All right, so
I want
there's a reason you
as many.
consume food. If you decided to stop consuming food for a significant period of time, you would die, right? So there are certain
Yeah,
benefits to
that's what you.
fasting. There are certain benefits to fasting short term, but fasting
Yeah,
beyond
which is
short term becomes
what I'm saying.
starvation, right? Which becomes malnutrition, which means you cannot trust your bodily functions to function properly, right? So
That's the
long
mainstream medical
long
opinion.
term, no, yeah, just long term, bro. There are people starving to death right now in the world, bro. Tell them that they're fasting, right? Be realistic
A guy
here.
who's not eating for 10 years, mate.
Be realistic, bro.
I spoke to a guy who's not eating for 10 years. He doesn't eat. He'll eat his sun gauge.
All right, sure. Whether you
I
believe
said,
that or
have you ever
not,
sun gauge?
right? Like that's fine. But besides the point, right? The
Yeah,
point is whether or
that,
not
that,
God exists. Right? That's the point.
because it's abnormal. This is why you go for 40
It,
hours a week.
it
You'll
would
come home,
be
you'll sleep,
abnormal,
you'll go out with
sure.
the kids and the missus, you'll do everything that sheep do. Yeah?
Yeah, but it would be
Because it's a better
abnormal
life.
if it was
Go down
reliably
that
true.
path.
It would be abnormal if it
This
was
is what
reliably
God wants.
true, right?
Break
We've heard
themselves down.
we've heard about people who think they can survive off air, they die. We've heard about people who think they can survive just on water, they die. We've heard about people who think they can survive just on the sun, they die. Okay? Because human anatomy isn't set up like that.
Survive without soil.
Sorry?
Can a plant grow, survive, and produce without
Depending
soil?
on the type of plant it is, yes.
No, any plant can survive with only water alone because it takes all of the
Yeah,
minerals and
but that's what I
from the
just said.
atmosphere, and not from the soil.
Depends what type of plant it is.
It's
But
fact.
yes, a plant
Look it
can
up.
survive without soil, but it
Why do you
depends on the
plant
type
them
of
in the
plant.
soil then and not grow them hydroponically so we get them faster?
Yeah, it depends on its natural environment, all right?
Oh, really?
Now you're talking about man-made interventions. There are types of plants that do
No,
grow
all
in
plants
water or grow on water, right? But that's besides the point.
no,
You're not a plant.
don't, mate. That's why certain grow.
Yeah, I can't hear you properly, bro. Breaking up.
No, but we derive from plants in evolution, mate.
Well, maybe you can argue with similar or we share DNA, but I don't know about derived.
We can do it.
I mean, look, just be careful what you're saying, man, because some people will hear that and think, oh, I should try that, and then, bad things happen.
We derive from that fish that can heal its heart. Yeah.
Say it again, sorry?
But like I say, there's a process to it. You've got.
Brother, I can't hear you, man. You just keep breaking up. Hello? You're forced. You're gonna have to come back when your when your connection is a bit better, bro. I can't hear you. Anyone else wanna call up? It was very difficult to hear what he was even saying. It's just muffled and then nothing at all. Right, so what do they want me to do?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello, how you doing, bro?
Good, how's it?
Not too bad. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, your prompt over here says humans invented God. Changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot obviously I cannot obviously change your mind. Only you can do that, right?
Why do you think that?
By the power of the Holy Spirit, can grant you a chance to repent. So you have to change your own mind.
So, are you saying that if information was presented that was just true, that wouldn't force a change of mind?
No,
So,
because of your prior commitments, how will you know that it is true? How will you justify that information?
you would test it, right? Depending on what the information is, and what it's claiming.
Yeah, but if your starting assumptions when you are doing your test are already wrong, you might come to a wrong conclusion.
Oh, you broken up, bro. I do agree, though. Yes, you can get information and come to the wrong conclusion, but me saying change my mind means I'm open to the information.
No, you need to repent. It's not up to me to
All right, so
make you repent.
give me a
You have to repent. You have to do that. You have
all
to
right,
change your mind.
sure. Give me a reason to think repentance is even a thing at all.
The repentance is changing your mind
No, it's
about a
not.
certain proposition, right? That's what repentance is.
Not in a religious context, it's not.
Bro,
In a religious
are you a
context,
Christian now?
in a religious context, it's like asking for forgiveness from a deity.
No. Repentance is metanoia, is the changing of your mind. Changing how from the infantile that you used to believe and coming into the full truth of the gospel. That's repentance.
Yeah, that might be your personal definition, but
So I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you getting this?
That's not a standard definition of what repentance means.
No, this is what Christianity teaches.
Like I just said, within the context of
No, this is what
Christianity,
Christianity teaches. Repentance is a concept that is exclusive to Christianity, to the biblical worldview.
all right. So outside of religion, you can repent. Okay, it's a word, it's a concept that lives outside of religion also. You're aware of that, right? But the question I'm asking you, is why should I think religious repentance is even a thing? Right? If the God is in question, then repentance is also in question. So if you're going to have a conversation about it, then you need to be able to give me reasons to think that God exists and that repentance would do anything.
Do you want me to give you an argument, proof that God exists?
Sure, if you want to do that.
So I'm going to give you a transcendental argument, right?
Okay.
With premises and the conclusion.
Okay.
So God is the necessary precondition for my being.
Why?
I exist because God exists.
That's kind of
Since I
begging the
exist,
question, isn't
therefore
it?
God exists.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because God is the necessary precondition of my being.
That's terrible, right?
No,
So
it's not begging the question.
yes, of course it is. Like, so you can have validity. You can have validity in a syllogism, but that validity doesn't necessarily translate to existence in reality. Okay, so you can make up a syllogism that is valid, meaning the conclusion will follow the premise, but in reality, the premises you're given have no grounding at all. They need to be independently justified. Okay, so when I asked you why God is the necessary precondition for your existence, you fail to answer that. Do you get it?
Or you did not give me a chance to answer.
Okay, sure.
You kept on talking.
Sure.
You just stop talking now.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, the reason is that because I'm a contingent being, and I'm a contingent being.
All right, so you being a contingent being.
My existence depends on other things that are prior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so how can you know that God?
So me being a contingent being, it will mean that there is either no. This is why we know that it is God, because it will either that there is an infinite regress of things prior.
Yeah, God doesn't solve that problem though.
That came prior.
The only
that
way.
go on infinitely.
Right, yeah,
and
so I'll let you speak and I'll listen.
solves the
The
problem
only.
because
No,
he's
it doesn't.
he's
No,
the
it doesn't.
only no
The only way a God can solve the problem of infinite regress is if you make a special pleading fallacy for God and then say he doesn't need anything. So say he's necessary by definition. But you cannot demonstrate a God exists and you cannot demonstrate that it's necessary by definition. That's the problem with a purely rationalist approach to theology. It doesn't get you to the existence of a God. Right? It simply does not work that way. So the form could be valid, but it doesn't necessarily represent existence in reality.
So are you denying that there's a necessary existence that makes all contingent things possible?
I think most of what you're saying is nonsense, right? It's like a conflation of theological ideas with philosophical ideas. I think it's mostly nonsense. It doesn't mean anything in the material world. That's what I think.
Bro, I'm asking you a question. Are you denying that there's a necessary
I just
existence
answered your
that makes
question. I just answered your
contingent
question.
things possible?
I answered your question. I said I think it's nonsense. Are you okay, bro?
Can you hear me? I'm having a problem with the internet.
No, I sound like
Yeah?
you're just refusing to reply.
No, I'm having a problem with the internet. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
You are breaking up.
I can hear you.
Okay, I think it's better now.
Sure.
I think it's better now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so can I ask you this question? Can you have a fact that doesn't derive from anywhere?
Say again.
That doesn't have...
Can you say that again? Yo, Maven, you're gonna need to sort out your connection or something, bro. Alright, bro.
Bro, you are just breaking up. I don't know.
Sort out your connection, bro, and you can come back another time. Not too much delay. Does anyone else want to come and have a chat? What is this mission actually asking of me? Let's see. Maven. Yo.
Yeah, so I'm back. Is it better now?
Restart your phone if you need to, but go on, say what you were saying. Oh, bro. The delay is crazy.
Yeah, what's that?
I said there's a long delay between when I say something and when you respond. Either I can't tell if you can hear me or not.
No, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Then maybe the delay is on your end, because on my end there's no delay.
Okay. Can you guys see the delay in this conversation, or am I just tripping? Am I just being a bit rushy here?
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. Can you have a fact that doesn't derive from anywhere?
Did you say a fact?
That doesn't have an ultimate context?
Did you say a fact?
Yeah, a fact, any fact that doesn't derive from anywhere.
Well, I think a fact is a description about something or an observation. So yeah, it does need a source. It's just
So this, what type of observation do you mean?
Say again.
Is it the fact that humans evolved? Is it the fact that humans evolved?
I think so, yeah.
Now that fact, what is the ultimate context that gives rise to that fact?
That matter exists, that life exists.
Yeah, those would be other facts again that are all derivative, right? Because matter comes from somewhere.
Not necessarily, no.
Life comes from somewhere, right?
Not necessarily. Matter could have always existed. It's more likely that matter has always existed than not.
Is it a fact that matter always existed,
It's more
or
likely.
is it a speculation?
Yeah, it's more likely, because we're
So
right.
it's
So
not,
if we're gonna say
it's not actually a fact.
if we're gonna say matter comes from somewhere, then we're gonna need to have good reasons to say that, right? So where would matter come from, right? Without jumping too far into theology and metaphysical concepts, scientifically speaking, where would matter come from?
I don't know about scientifically speaking, because I'm speaking from metaphysics, right?
Well, yeah, you can't conflate the two, right?
Because
Yes,
the
yes.
scientific question will not be able to answer where matter comes
Ah,
from.
right then. So that's the point, right? Why are you trying to conflate your
No, it will not be
metaphysical
able to.
your metaphysical beliefs with scientific facts, right? You asked me something scientific, evolution. I told you from matter, from life's existence. You can't just switch between the two. Yes, science informs metaphysics, metaphysics informs science, but you can't just jump between the two when you feel like it. You've got to be consistent in one area or the other.
Why not?
Because how is that valuable to get into some
Why
understanding?
do I need to be consistent in one area or the other?
Well, if your aim is to describe reality, right, and not to just map
I'm
your
trying to
beliefs onto reality, then you should study reality as it is. Right? So if I say to you,
No,
it's more likely that matter has always existed, I say that
I'm
scientifically,
trying to understand.
because where would matter come from, right? So if your answer to where matter comes from is an immaterial spirit, you have not solved that question. You've posited a belief that you hold. Because the immaterial spirit isn't proven to be existent either. Okay?
So the belief, the notion that matter has always existed, is that not a belief? Is that not a metaphysical claim?
I say it's likely, more likely than not. I can't know for certain. But yes, it's a claim.
Yeah, what you are saying, that notion, is that not a metaphysical claim?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
You just accused me of flip-flopping between
Right,
science
so
and metaphysics, and now you are making
yes,
metaphysical claims.
yet it is,
And you
yes,
don't
it,
even understand
yes,
how
it is a
that you are
claim,
making
right?
metaphysical claims.
Yes, it is a claim. But if you ask me where matter comes from, right, and I say to you, it's likely matter has always existed, that's me offering an explanation. Okay? It may not be correct. It may be incorrect. Matter may have a source. But if
That
I
is-
don't have the answer to that source, right, I'm going to go with the best explanation, which is matter has always existed. Okay? You can take that as a metaphysical claim if you want. I don't mind. Right?
So you don't understand how it is a metaphysical claim.
I mean, if that's what you're saying,
It's make. No, I'm asking whether you understand how it is a metaphysical claim or not.
well, explain it to me then.
No, I came on here in order to learn, because you made a claim. You said humans invented God, right?
Yeah, that's an explanatory
So
claim.
I was just using it as an example. So yeah, humans invented God. That's an explanatory claim. Is that a metaphysical claim?
I'm not sure.
Is it an
Right?
epistemological claim, or is
I'm not
what
sure.
is it?
I'm
What
not
type
sure.
of claim is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not a philosopher. It's an explanatory claim, and how I make that claim is using things from anthropology, cognitive science, and artifacts, basically, archaeology.
Yeah, you do understand that these types of claims are the domain of metaphysics, right?
Depends,
logic,
man. It depends. You can
philosophy.
you
like
could say that.
arguments and claims.
You could say that. Yes, you could say that. Right? But I'm speaking as a normal person. I'm not claiming to be a philosopher when I make these claims. I'm speaking as a normal person. So there's an untold amount of things that I don't know.
But do you have an argument for that claim?
What, that humans invented God?
Sorry?
That humans invented God?
Yeah, do you have an
So
argument
I
or
can provide reasons for it, but
some type of
I don't
proof?
have a logical syllogism. I can provide reasons for saying it if you're willing to listen.
Okay.
You willing to listen?
No, it's fine. Because my internet is not well. It's not
Okay.
well enough for me to listen. Let me just ask you this last question.
All right. So if it's not well
So
enough for you to listen, then it's not well enough for
when
me
you
to
make a
answer.
claim that, yeah,
I said it's not well enough for him to listen. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy work, isn't it? There is an annoying delay in that conversation. Well. The coder invented the video games, Brian. I don't know exactly who made this game, but a coder made a video game using software and hardware. It's bound to go downhill one way or the other, anyways. But feel free to come up and talk to me. Like, I'd rather not do the Phil Bro bouncing around stuff if we can avoid it. But if it goes there, fine. Why should I think hell is even a place? Why should I think God gives a damn about the things that humans do? He's God. Right? I mean, if I'm to go on the definition of God that you have, God is so powerful, so all-knowing that you should never be concerned about what I do. It's irrelevant to him. Nah, I ain't got Steam. I mean, I don't know. What I can tell you is it's 28 degrees in this room and it ain't getting any cooler. If I was to turn on a fan, it's just going to start making super noise. But yes, you can hit that request button and come up if you actually want to talk about the subject. Hopefully your internet is well as well. Oh? Oh wow. I hit 70 views. That's dope. But yeah, the stream was like stuck at like 10 views for a long time, so it might still go back there. You never know. Let's try it. Oh, there it is. Why would he have to jump down to go up? I mean, I'm not even enjoying this game like that, Johan. I think the first two, for me, well, they're more nostalgic because I grew up playing those, but they're better. Just like the parkour, but Prototype beats both of them, all of them. Prototype 1 and 2, the movement is just way better. Unfortunately. There's also a little bit of weird like politic in this game as well, with the whole Native American thing. It's a bit suspicious. Look, see what I mean about the movement being sucky? Why can't you jump up there? That should be easy. Got superpowers, damn it. The video power? That sounds gimmicky. Alright, who's shooting at me? Damn, what was that? I'd surrender too. So guys, feel free to tap that like, repost, share it to somebody that might be interested in this content, or someone wants to actually have a conversation about what's on the screen. It goes a long way to making it more enjoyable for all of us. Thank you for hitting the screen, I appreciate that. Centaur, thanks for the gifts. Yana, thanks for the gifts as well. Not sure what this game is actually requiring of me to do. I think I need to follow something. Nah, I don't play that. Probably just gonna end up back on a Dark Souls game. It's the easiest to play while streaming. Coming up then, if you want to talk about it, McDonald. What we gotta do is press the request button. Why should you be a God-fearing man? That speaks to so much like systemic priming, psychological manipulation. Why would you think you need to be a God-fearing man? If a God exists, why would a God need you to fear him? That's all about subjugation, bro. It's other men manipulating you. It makes no damn sense at all. Like, do you think an all-powerful entity is really that insecure about a human's feelings towards him or thoughts towards him? It's ridiculous, brother. To me, anyways. Hello?
Hello, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm okay, I'm hanging in there. I was reading your prompts, the human invented God.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that, though?
I think there's a substantial amount of evidence for humans inventing different types of gods all throughout history versus evidence for gods existing without us.
So there's no evidence for God's existence?
I don't think there is significant evidence.
Okay, but what evidence will satisfy you?
Well, it would depend on the type of God we're talking about first. We need to define.
I mean, when I say God, I'm talking about the cause of everything that exists, including you.
So that's your
How
definition.
did that come to be? How did
Are
the
you saying-
universe come to exist?
Right, no, but you got to slow down. So you're saying your definition
I'm
of
just
God.
asking, how did the universe come to exist? The
I
universe
know
that we
what you're
live in.
asking me. I understand, but like I'm trying to say to
Yes, how
you,
did that come to be?
if I was going to look for evidence of God, I need to know what God is first, so I know that the evidence is pointing to it.
The God is a creator. The person
Right.
whoever is involved, because it's got to be a who, can be a what. Because if it's a
Why do you
what,
think
it's
that?
mindless.
Why do you think that?
Because a what cannot create nothing.
So,
It have to make a decision.
all right,
It have to have a mind.
there's a difference between an agency and a mind, right? So, for instance, you wouldn't say AI is a who, but it can become agentic, meaning it can make decisions. But it's not necessarily a who. It's not a person. It's not a mind like that.
So I'm saying you are AI. You just mentioned AI. AI means artificial intelligence, right?
Right. Just as an example.
So
yeah.
so apparently there is a real intelligence. I'm talking about the real intelligence responsible for existence that we are living in.
All right,
the
so
universe.
That's fine if you think that's what God is. But what I'm trying to say to you is there's not reasons to think that's what God is yet. That's something you can say God is.
So what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. We are here. You are here, I'm here, the universe is here, matter, energy, and all things is here. It's either it came from a creator or nothing. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a
Came from
false.
nothing?
I think that's a false dichotomy because if I asked you
Well,
then,
tell me some other way it could come about.
listen, if I asked you then where God came from, what would your answer be?
Do you know anything about science?
No,
Do you know what science?
answer the question. If I asked you,
I'm answering you.
if I asked
I
you
am
where
answering
God
you.
came from,
God
what
is
would the
eternal.
answer be? So God didn't
God
come
is
from
eternal.
anywhere. So
God has eternal.
So he
There's
didn't
no way
come
for
from
God to
anywhere.
come from.
All right. So that's the
God is
same.
eternal.
That's the same as saying something comes from nothing.
No. That's one of the most uncontroversial axioms of logic and philosophy.
All right. So if a place has no
Something
origin,
cannot come from nothing.
I agree.
Something.
I do agree.
So how are you going to say universe come from nothing?
I didn't say that. That's a position you've strawmanned.
You said.
No, listen
I'm
closely. I never said anything about where the universe came from. I asked you,
So
right?
tell me where it come from then. Tell me where did it come from?
It's not my job to answer that in all truth because I don't know with
It's
certainty.
not what? It's not what?
I don't know with certainty.
Okay, so therefore, if you don't know, you cannot.
Are you claiming you do?
No, I'm trying to finish my answer.
So this accounts for
said
your
you said
opinion
you
too,
don't
right?
know.
So
No,
this
yeah, I'm
also
giving you my
accounts for
opinion.
your
I'm
opinion too,
giving you my
right?
opinion.
Sure.
You
all
said
right.
you don't know. So
Yeah,
what I'm
with
saying,
certainty, no.
since you don't know, you cannot completely disavow the existence of God.
No, yes I can.
Because that's the evidence right there because
I
you're lacking
can.
in
No,
knowledge.
no, that's called God. That's called God of the gaps. What you're doing, right? So when
No.
I say humans invented God, that's what's called an explanatory claim. What we understand various different gods to be are all immaterial ideas produced by human minds. So the creation of the universe could happen with or without any invention of humans being involved. How the universe comes about. How, this is an interesting question, which is what science spends its time trying to
But
answer.
do you
right?
know?
But listen.
Can you say?
Listen.
Can you say?
Listen.
Can you say?
Listen, brother.
How? I'm asking you. You're
Yes,
talking,
you haven't let me
give me
finish.
anything.
No, you haven't let me finish what I'm saying, alright? So, right, the view on where the universe comes from couldn't be answered by gods if gods are an invention of humans. That's what I'm saying to
That
you.
is not. No, you. That's your opinion.
That's an evidential fact at this moment.
No. You are, look. I'm asking you again.
Alright.
There's two ways. Only two ways.
That's wrong.
Okay. Well, I'm going to name the two that I know.
Yeah.
You tell me of another one that you know.
Sure.
It either came about conventionally that people believe by a creator that they call God. Irrespective of what the definition you want to call God is. They what they mean, a God, a person, an individual, a man, what do you want to call it, who create me, you, and everything. Or if it's not God, it's just an accident, by chance, nothing.
Alright,
What do you think?
So can I tell you why that's an incorrect statement in the first place? What you're presenting is a
Yes.
false dichotomy. You're offering up two options.
What's about that?
You're offering up two options and saying there are no other options,
Well, tell me the third.
which
Tell me the
is
third one.
nonsense. One of the third ones is the universe could have always existed. A fourth one is that
No,
there are
no,
multiple. A fourth one is that there are multiple universes, right? I just see. You see, right? You're a little bit all over the place.
But
You're
you're
a little bit all over the place.
Lying statement.
No, I
Universe
didn't.
begin.
No,
Science
right.
prove.
No, it doesn't.
Science
No,
proved the
it
universe was beginning at the
doesn't.
Big
No,
Bang.
it doesn't. See, this is what I'm saying, all right? People take
What
a
is the
little
Big
bit.
Bang?
People take a little bit of information
What is the
and they
Big Bang?
conflate it, right?
Okay.
The Big Bang
How
does
old
not
is
say.
universe?
The Big Bang does not tell you T0 when the universe began. The Big Bang is about a calculation based on our known observable universe. At present, scientists
How
are
old is the
discovering.
universe? How
At
old is the
present,
universe? How old is the
listen,
universe?
brother. If you can't listen, I'm dropping
How
you.
old
Right?
is the
I'm gonna
universe?
give you
How old
another
is it?
chance. I'm gonna give you another chance to listen, or I'm gonna drop you.
To do what? To bring me down?
Look, man, I don't usually do that, but I'm not gonna have a conversation with someone who thinks they can talk down to me, like shout me down, right? That's an abusive tactic. It's not gonna work, right? If we was in real life, that wouldn't be allowed. So don't do it on the internet, okay? No, truth, right? You've got a very abusive way of speaking. It's either we're gonna have a conversation or you're gonna have a rant. But I'm not gonna let you come up on my platform and rant, okay? It's not how it works. Alright. Hello?
Yo,
How you doing, bro?
yeah, I'm good.
What do you want to talk about?
Is it interesting? I don't know. There's no need to get angry though.
No, I'm not angry,
Or
bro.
rant like that.
Nah, forget about
None
the
of
last
you,
the
no,
last
no,
conversation.
You haven't
Just,
got a shouting,
just forget about that.
yeah. I don't know. All these people in chat as well talk about the Big Bang. Like it's just a theory. Like
Well,
when someone said gravity's a theory.
no, well, there's a difference between like a standard theory and a scientific theory. Like a scientific theory is substantiated. So it's although it is a theory, it's substantial. It's got evidence to support it. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
But then, if two rocks collided in space, where did them rocks come from?
again, I mean, why waste time talking about what he was talking about? Say we just talk about something completely different. What is it you actually want to talk about?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I was just listening. I wanted to talk to that other guy, to be honest, but he's gone now. So.
Well, you could find him. He's in the chat there still. Pretty sure he'd be willing to talk to you. But he just needs to calm down a bit. All right. So, do you have anything to offer to the invention of God, or no?
The invention of God, I think it's, I don't know, it's just silly.
So, do you believe in God or not?
It's silly, like, we're such little fish in such a very big pond. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to do anything talking about it.
I mean, I think there's lots of value to be had talking about it, because it can lead to understanding about more important things, like material reality things, like social structures, politics, education, economics, like real things that matter. So I think it's a good jump off point. But hey, I do appreciate you for coming up, Alf.
Yeah, cool.
Come back another time if you want.
I'm
But
gonna watch. Yeah.
let's cut through. Hello.
Yo, what's up? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good myself. I just have a question. You know, you talk about all these theories and, but where do you think these scientists and these people who, invent these theories, where do you think they get their, like these things from?
So before I answer that, right, can I just ask you if you believe in a God or not?
Yeah, I do.
What God do you believe in?
I believe in Jesus Christ.
Cool. So I think scientists get their information by studying the natural universe, making observations, calculations, like theories, as we just said.
You just said it, studying our actual universe. Where do you think it came from?
The natural universe.
Like there had to be our universe.
Yeah.
You see, there's a lot of things like in our daily basis, like life, that even it can't really be. You see, the scientists, they give us that explanation, but there has to be a point and a beginning of where all those things came from.
Not necessarily.
Explain that.
So, right, so as humans, like we're what people might describe as pattern recognition machines, right? We love a good pattern. We love to be able to fit things into nice, neat boxes. So, for instance, we have a view on Earth that we see things begin and we see things end. So that thought pattern must carry to everything else, and it's not necessarily so. That's what's described as a habit of thought, saying that, the universe. So I put it to you like this, right? If you think time flows linearly and you think causation is linear, so like thing A happens, triggers thing B, triggers thing C, like a domino, right? Then by that type of thinking, you must think that there's a first domino. That's called a habit of thought. Being able to think that there's a first domino doesn't mean there is or ever was a first domino. And it's the job of us as humans, as living things, and like the luck that we have of being intelligent, according to us, to study the universe to figure out what actually is the case, not just what we believe is the case. So you saying there has to be a first thing isn't necessarily so. It's more like, let's study it and find out what the case is.
Yeah, but as there was things written in the Bible, well, what do you think? What do you believe in? Let me ask.
I don't have any religious beliefs.
So you just think that we were here placed randomly just for us to die, and
I mean,
that's it?
I don't necessarily think that. I think that's like a projection kind of opinion of what you think I think. But look, I don't have the answers to where the universe comes from, what the meaning of life is. I don't know. I'm searching for those answers as well. But I don't choose to answer those things with theological claims. That's all I can say.
Well, I think that question you should think about that, and there should be an answer.
Of course. That's the whole reason we do what we do.
I mean, we can't explain a lot of these things. I think that's a perfect reason why there is a God. And because we can't explain it, there has to be an author. There has to be certain things that way works.
That's just ignorance, really. It's like an argument from incredulity. It's like saying I don't understand this, so therefore it must be this other thing that I can understand.
All right.
That's not right.
Well, I wish I could
It's
explain it
better
to
to
you.
just say I don't know and try and find out.
I see. All right. Well, you have a good day, and just know that like God loves you. All right.
How could you know that?
And how could you know that? Because
Yeah.
you're living your life, brother. You're breathing air.
That doesn't entail God loving me. What about all the babies suffering right now as we speak? Does God love them?
You could say a bunch about that, but
Okay.
there's faith. Do you know what faith is? Like, do you
Of
believe in?
Of course I know what faith is.
Exactly. If you believe in faith, then
All right.
like,
So yeah. So it's just
explain faith.
So
Explain what faith
it's
is.
just a belief. It's a trust in things unseen in a religious context.
It's to trust in things you can't see, but how could you explain something you haven't seen before?
Yeah, so that's a whole different subject. But as far as you saying just know God loves me, right? And I asked you how you know that. You said I just exist. Right? That isn't a good thought pattern. Like that's bad.
But if you explain faith, that's like you could believe anything, right?
Yeah, you could believe anything you want, but does that have anything? Does it have like an accordance with reality? I can believe that there's pink fairies that float around my room and they introduce concepts to me. But does that track to reality?
Right.
There you go. So you can have faith in all kinds of strange things. Doesn't mean it's a reality.
Well, what do you think faith is based on? Like if you believe in, say, something you haven't seen before.
So like if we were just talking outside of the context of religion, faith is just trusting. It's like a synonym for trust. Okay? But in the context of religion or Christianity, you might say faith is the trust in the things unseen or whatever the next part of it is. But faith and belief are interchangeable in that sense, because in a religious context, belief is to accept something without proof. Okay? To accept something to be true without proof of it. But it's kind of the same little coupling of things happening with faith and belief in religion.
And like the point of existence of our whole world being created, there has to be a line, there has to be a start.
There doesn't.
That point needs to be made in order for there to be a line.
Look, all I would say is there doesn't simply, and just because you want there to be, you shouldn't try to bend reality to your beliefs. Okay, just you can think there has to be, right? But the reality is there doesn't have to be. It's better to just try and find out rather than trying to force it to be something that you already believe. When truth be told, like most of the things you believe aren't even examined in the first place. You haven't thought about why you believe them, who told you to believe them, why they believe that. You know. So if you approach reality from like as unbiased as possible, you can come to better understanding rather than trying to bend reality to what you already believe.
Where do you think these scientists got all their information from? Just like out of nowhere, or
it's observation?
Where do you think that observation comes from? Our eyes?
Yeah, our minds, our eyes.
Where do you
our
think
instruments?
Our eyes come from?
Evolution.
Who do you think gave us those instruments?
Right, so what you're basically doing is like a very like sophist type of thing, right? You're just gonna go, well, where did that come from? Where did that come from, right? And to end your suffering in that kind of line of reasoning, one could merely just ask you, all right, where does God come from?
Where does God from? You can't
See,
you can't really ask this. Like, he came from, well, Jerusalem, but you can't.
See, right? So to save ourselves the sophistry, right? If you don't have an answer for where your God comes from, but you think everything comes from your God, it's better you just study the natural universe. Think about Occam's razor. Stop trying to invoke supernatural entity to explain natural phenomena, because you don't know anything about the supernatural entity.
But have you heard the things our God teaches?
Say again?
Have you heard the things our God teaches?
No, God doesn't teach anything.
You talked about the babies being murdered.
I've heard the things.
You talked about the babies being murdered, but
I've heard the things that men teach, right? But there's no evidence your God exists and ever said anything. As far as I understand, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran are all inventions of man. They're knowledge put forward by men just like me. More enlightened men than me, but just men like me.
say it wasn't God who said those things, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just a man.
Yeah.
What would you think of that?
Well, that is what I think, though.
I know, but Exactly. It's so you're just saying just because it's God, you have
No.
no, or there's no proof, supposedly proof that he
Alright, so
exists.
how I understand it is humans invented various different gods. The base, prime, most innocent reason for inventing God is for survival. The more insidious, or like, the more bad use of God of the recent, like, 5,000 odd years has been through what's called religion and more widely known as theology. Okay, but the base invention of God was for survival, it's for explanatory power, so it was innocent. But how it's used now is just as a tool from men to control other men, not just in a bad way, sometimes in a good way, but it is just a expression of men. So at any point where you say to me, God said, in my mind, I'm translating that to a man said that God said, because there's no evidence of the God being anything more than a man's invention.
Right. I think I've spoken enough, and just well,
You,
it's
c-
your
you,
thoughts
you
to
can say
believe
have a
on.
good day without having to invoke God, bro. It's okay.
All right. Well, I just hope one day you know what's right. All right. Have a nice
I
day.
mean, yeah, I
Goodbye.
appreciate that. Take care, bro. Yup, what's up, K? Oh, K dropped down. Bible said all kinds of strange things, bro. It's up to you if you take it seriously or not, but it doesn't make it a fact.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing, bro?
Good, good. How are you?
Not too bad. What do you want to talk about?
Uh, I don't. I just saw your thing about humans inventing God, and just wanted to share my personal experiences and opinion about it.
About what exactly? So, are you saying you want to give a testimony?
Uh, I'm not really sure what that entails, but I just wanted to say,
Well, if it's a personal experience, it's kind of what it sounds like.
yeah, yeah. So I guess yeah, it is a testimony. Uh, so God is real, but religion was definitely invented by humans. They basically took something great that we had and created all these different religions to control people and took us as far away from God as we possibly could.
But what makes you think that God is real?
I've spoken with him.
Oh boy. All right. So, two things, like something I should like pre-warn you about, right? If you're gonna be given a testimony about a personal experience, you need to be able to give consent for critique of it. Otherwise, I'd prefer you didn't say it. Do you know?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. You're
So yeah, if you consent to obviously push back and critique of it, then you can tell it, and then I'll tell you what I think about it. But if not, then
okay.
I'd rather you didn't say it if you're not comfortable with it being critiqued.
Yeah, I'm comfortable
Cool.
with
So sure, tell me about you speaking to God then.
um so I always thought it was like a voice in my head, like growing up, like I came to the conclusion it was like this is probably just a voice in my head talking to me. So I just wrote it off. But when the voice in your head is telling you things you don't want to hear or telling you things that you wouldn't expect, it it scared me at first.
Oh yeah, I can see why that might be the case. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But sure. So you're considering the voice that you hear in your head as God.
Um yeah, it only talks to me like once every few years.
Why should you think it's God? That's what I want to know.
Um why should I think the voices? Oh, I just like I said, I was thinking about it logically, and I was like, okay, this is a voice in my head. I'm probably going crazy, and you go see a therapist or a psychologist or something.
Did you?
But yes,
What did they say?
they said it was probably what was it? Probably caused by some sort of traumatic experience growing up.
Quite likely.
Yeah.
But still reasons to think it's God.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I believe. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chats, cracking me up.
Oh, you're trolling, isn't it? Ah.
Yeah, let me see if I can. There we go. All right. So, you're asking me why I think it's still God? Well, I can't give you like an actual physical like evidence of it or why I think it is God. It's kind of just the disbelief that came from hearing this voice and then continuing to hear it and tell me things that
So
I
is
did not want.
is it possible that you're fallible and like the issue may be with you? Let's not say it's an issue, but just the event may just be you.
Oh, I am me.
Yes, but the event of hearing the thing, it could just be you, like your mind.
Yeah, I thought of that.
What makes you rule that out?
Mainly the fact that it only comes every few years, and I lost my father, and the day that I lost him, it was the same like thing where I could hear him talking to me, and so I would just be like, I wrote it off, like I was like, this isn't real. Like I'm not actually hearing this voice in my
But
head.
with all due respect, that is quite normal. That's not unusual. Right, whether it's a positive reinforcement or critique, to hear the voice of someone you know isn't unnormal or abnormal. Because like for instance, you could have had an experience where like someone said something terrible to you, but now you walk around mentally critiquing yourself in their voice. That's quite normal. Or someone said something nice to you, and you reinforce that kind of egotistical boost through their voice too. That's quite normal as well.
I've never done that before.
But it's quite normal. That's the irony of it. It's quite normal.
You see.
So there's that. But here, like the framing of it in your dad's voice to me gives a whole new frame of what the event is. Now, if it's like a completely alien voice, and yeah, maybe there's some cause for concern. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion.
Definitely his voice. Just not like it's not an alien voice.
I mean, one would expect it to be, right, if it's the voice of God, or else like then you find yourself like Descartes. Is it a demon playing games on you then? How do you know?
I mean, it could be a demon, but if demons are
there
real,
you go, right?
then God would be real, wouldn't he?
Not necessarily. Demons could exist and there not be a god still. They could just be a deformation of humans or some different species on the planet. Like you could say dragons are like a derivative of dinosaurs. Right? You could say that too, but I don't think that. but yeah.
I see.
So yeah, demons technically could exist and no god, but I don't think that's true either.
Yeah. I don't really believe in demons either, but I do believe that we were created by a higher power. And I think that power can talk to us at any point in time and lead us on the right path. Well, and I do think religion itself was created by man. Religion is a hoax. So I can see where like the confusion of you think God's not real because religion has you believing that.
But the argument would be, right, for the belief that you hold about God creating us and can speak to us, you got that from somebody else. That's not something you internally generated. That's a cultural inheritance to think that way. That's an external influence. If you were to generate your own concept of God, it would be like typical in terms of how human minds operate, but it'd be unique to your context. It wouldn't be so cliched.
But I could flip that argument on your belief system.
Go for it.
No, like what you just said, I could flip it on you and be like, well, you believing humans invented God. It's just the way you were brought up, and you got that from someone else.
Yeah, of course. It was gained information. It's gained insight. But I didn't grow up thinking
Yeah.
that. I used to believe in God just like you. Well, maybe not just like you, but similar.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't believe in God for quite a while, and then it all changed.
Fair. But I tell you what, I don't think this conversation is gonna go too far, so we'll just leave it here.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, there are good
All right.
reasons why I don't take people's personal experiences as a proof of reality, but we can get into that another time.
All right. Have a good one, bro.
All right, take it easy, bro. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Yo, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
How do I say your name?
ممكن.
Mumkin.
Yeah, ممكن.
Cool. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, what is the topic? Humans invented God. Well, I do like.
Can you speak up a
Like
bit?
this before.
Can you
Yeah,
speak
like
speak
the
up a
gift
bit?
before. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit mumbly there.
Okay. Okay, wait a second. Let me change my mic. Can you hear me now better or?
Yeah, just try to speak up if you can. It's just it's that
Yeah.
you sound quiet.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do agree with the guest before. I do believe that God exists, but I believe religions are man-made. And so I want to ask you, do you believe there is nothing but matter in the universe, or do you think
I don't
there's
know.
something else?
What would the other something else be?
Do you believe there is something supernatural?
I mean, no, I don't necessarily believe that a supernatural exists, but I understand it as a concept.
Okay. Well, do you believe that it does not exist, or do you believe that it does not interact with us?
I can't know. I just think it's a concept. I think it's a human idea, but I don't know if it's a thing. I don't think there's any way to know if it's a thing.
Well, I disagree with you. I think we can know that the supernatural necessarily exists. It has to be something that is supernatural. Like we
How?
can interact with the supernatural, but I think it has to be something supernatural.
How? Explain it in layman's if you can.
Yeah, I know nothing but layman. I think for me, if you look at science try to explain all natural phenomenons, but science can't actually explain the existence of nature itself. Like the existence of nature is something that science cannot explain. So for me,
Isn't
there has
nature
to
just
be.
a description? It's just a
What do you mean
categorical kind of description. It's just like let's say nature is the vocabulary we use to describe elements of Earth or
Okay.
qualities of Earth.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean by nature, like everything that we can perceive in our minds, everything that we can observe, that's what nature is. Everything that
Yeah.
science can deal with, right?
But for us to use that word nature or natural, we're implying that there's no mind with intention behind it. That's why it's natural. There's no intervention.
I'm not really sure what do you mean by that.
So like if you were to say something is natural, right, from a human point of view, you're saying there's no human intervention in it. It is as it is, and it's like just raw state. That's how it is as described. There's no mind intervening with it for it to be what it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just nature. It's just like matter.
But what that also sets you up for is the problem of saying, okay, so if you're asking where the natural thing comes from, you've kind of eliminated the mind being behind it already because you're calling it natural. So that's the problem.
I'm not really sure I understand what you mean by that.
So if we say something is natural, we're saying it's happening without intervention. So it could be a human intervention or a mind's intervention or an agent, some kind of agent's intervention. We're saying it's just naturally occurring, so it's just happening on its own.
No, this is not what I mean by natural. I mean, natural is like everything we can observe. Like, I was talking about science, right? Like, what does science do? Science try to explain natural phenomenon with another natural phenomenon. Like, let's take for example the Big Bang. Okay, it's an event. Okay, so science says like try to explain this phenomenon with another natural phenomenon that we can explain, we can observe. Okay, so it does not assume supernatural cause for the Big Bang, right?
Yeah, so I don't think supernatural things have scientific explanatory power.
Yeah, exactly, and I agree with that. Like science does not deal with the supernatural, you know, because science always try to find natural phenomenon that we can observe, that we can perceive in order to explain other natural phenomenon, you know. But science cannot explain the existence of of the nature itself. It cannot explain existence itself. Like it can explain the things we see in existence, the phenomenon we observe in existence by another phenomenon we observe in existence,
But
but it
what
cannot
you're
explain
yeah,
existence itself.
because you're mixing up science with metaphysics. Science is supposed to make observations. It's a methodology, isn't it? So it requires
Yeah.
something to observe, e.g., the natural world. So if science hasn't observed how things come about, where they come from yet, that means that's information we don't currently have. But to say you have an answer to that outside of science isn't to be studying the natural world. You're going to be doing like metaphysics, like philosophy,
No,
basically.
yeah, exactly. But this is what I mean. I mean, like, for me, like, I think the last thing we can get to with our mind that there has to be something that we don't understand.
I would agree.
Like
There's lots of
just
things we don't
yeah.
understand.
But what I mean by that, there is something that we know for sure that we can't understand.
No, I think
Like
that's
there
a
is a limit for
bit
our
wrong.
understanding.
No, so we're in agreement that humans are limited in what they can understand. But to say that
Yeah.
there's this specific thing that we know about that we don't understand is incorrect. As far as supernatural things go, right? The supernatural has not been pointed out to be a specific thing that we don't understand. It's an idea that people have, but it's not part of the natural world.
I agree. Like we
It's
can't
like
point it out.
so it's just it's just an idea. So it's not in the same realm of discussion.
Well, I agree with you that we can't point it out. We can't say this is the supernatural that we can't understand. But I think we know that there is something that we can't understand. There is definitely something that we can't understand. We can't point it out.
All right,
There
so
is definitely something we don't understand.
I'm in agreement
supernatural.
there, right? But that's just like the whole unknown unknowns and the known unknowns. That accounts for so many possibilities that there's no point trying to whittle that down to this specific theological claim because we don't know. It's an unknown.
Yeah. So, like, if we want to look at it from another perspective, like we know, like our minds, our brains, our way of thinking, it's bound with time and space, right?
Yeah.
But we know that there is like something. There has to be something outside time and space because
No.
time and space.
No.
Yeah, but time and space does not explain itself. It does not
Or
explain.
we haven't got the vote. So we haven't, like as normies, I'm speaking for myself here. We haven't got the vocabulary to even address that. What does it mean for something to be outside of space and time? Right.
Exactly.
We
We
using
don't have the language.
right because it's relative to us being within space and time, isn't it? So then saying that something must be outside of space and time is really incorrect language-wise. It's nonsensical. But to leave the door open, you could say there are some things that we don't know about how the universe functions, which is actually a fact. There are things we don't know. But to make that kind of jump to there has to be something outside of space and time, I think it's a nonsense kind of way to approach it.
Well, I agree there are things that we don't understand about the universe, but I also say there has to be something that we can't understand. Like it's beyond our comprehension. It's beyond our ability to like perceive it. There has to be something like that.
Why is it a
can't point
has
it
to?
out.
Why is it a has to?
Because, like I said, like how to say that? Like existence does not explain itself. It explains everything that happens in existence, but it does not explain existence itself. So, for existence to happen, there has to be something outside existence that caused existence, and we can't
No,
have our mind.
not
Yeah, but we can't
necessarily.
have our mind outside existence. We can't imagine what's outside existence.
Yeah, currently. But what I would say
Yeah.
is it's a matter of saying, look, this is what we know currently, and just keep searching for more information. To make, like, if you was going to make a claim in a sort of creative way to point science in a direction, that's helpful. But to make a claim to say, oh, this is just something I believe, so it must be the case because it's possible for me to believe it, it's really it's silly, in my view. You know,
So,
in my opinion, it's not practical. It's not valuable.
so do you think science will eventually answer this question? Why there is existence?
What I think is, like I said earlier on, right? If it is possible to know at some point, I have faith that humans will know it. If it's possible for us to know, at some point we will know it. That's what I think. But if it's not possible to know, then I don't think we'll know it. I know that's kind of like super simplistic, but
Yeah, well, for me, I think it's impossible to know.
why?
But there has to be a cause. Because if we use our mind, if we use our brain to explain phenomenons in existence, like we were, like I've said, like we said, like existence is caused by the Big Bang. Okay, so we try to explain why the Big Bang happened. Okay, we
That's
discovered that.
we
Yeah,
do,
we discovered
but we
that.
can acknowledge that's not necessarily a fact too, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that okay, we discovered the cause of the Big Bang. Then we have to discover the cause of the Big Bang. Then we have to do a lot of science, do a lot of observation, do a lot of
Or
um, yeah.
or we
But
could address
then
we could address our understanding of what causation is in the first place, and if that understanding of causation is correct at its foundation.
yeah, but in the end, like this causation thing depends on time and space, right?
That's our current
It's
understanding.
part, yeah, it's part of time and space, and our brain is bound by time and space.
Hmm.
So any explanation that we come up with has to be bound by time and space.
To an extent, I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say there is what you were alluding to was a type of infinite regress. What is the cause for the cause for the cause kind of thing, right? And I'm
Yeah,
saying to you, in order to address something like that, we have to actually look at what kind of tools we're using to make these assumptions or these conclusions anyway. And one of those things that we'd have to address is our understanding of causality in the first place. Right? So if for instance we find out, okay, we always thought causality was linear and like something has to follow something else, and then one day we find out no, causality doesn't work that way, then that actually changes how we tackle the problem of infinite regress, or if infinite regress is even a thing scientifically. That's all I'm
well,
trying to say.
okay, I agree with you, but I also say like this is not a problem. Even if we understand causality in a different way, so it's not linear, it's circular, or it's like a mixed web of causes or whatever it is. Okay, so now we understand how causality works, but we can't answer the question why this web or this web of causality actually exists. So like
Yeah, I might be
there is
in
there
agreement with
always
that.
okay, there will always be the question why. There will always be the question why, and this question cannot be answered. This is my argument. This question cannot be answered. Like we can't answer this question why. The question why will always persist because
Possibly, yeah.
the answer
I
because the
understand.
answer yeah, because the answer, the ultimate answer for this question why, it's beyond our understanding. We can't there is nothing we can do to answer this question. It's beyond our understanding.
I
So
don't
this
think
is my
I don't think I agree with you there. I think that's just a current limitation of humans. In order to like maintain some level of optimism, I think that's just our current limitations. But our current limitations don't necessarily establish like the entirety of the future of what's possible. There's so many times we've come up against walls, metaphysically, scientifically, before, and we've surpassed them. So why not consider the possibility for the future?
yeah, for me, every word we come up against, it was about like explaining phenomenon in existence, you know. So we don't know why this phenomenon happened, so we have like explanation for it. But the question why existence itself, it's not why, it's different from why this phenomenon happened in
It's,
existence,
yeah,
you know. But
a why
existence
is a
itself
why isn't
is
necessarily the same
different.
thing as a how. I understand,
Yeah,
but yeah, like that. The why might then more speak to human condition than the actual nature of the universe. Then
but like for me, I think like there has to be something that we can't understand, and this something that we can't understand, like for me, I don't think like we will be able to understand this. And for me, this something that we can't understand. I'm not going against science. I'm not saying like
so,
science is
but what do
bad.
you propose
No,
as the solution for it?
no, I'm not saying there is a solution. I'm not saying there is a solution. I'm not saying there is like um, I'm not saying that science is bad and we need to stop doing
No,
science,
I
and
know, I
we need to stop.
understand.
Yeah, we need to stop having faith in science. No, I think we should always try use science to explain natural phenomenon with other natural phenomena. But I'm saying like the question why cannot be answered. Like it's like it cannot be answered. It's something supernatural, something
I
beyond
mean,
our mind.
what would
This is my
I
point.
guess we'd agree to disagree though, because I feel like that view ultimately falls back on something that you believe. We can't account for all possibilities of the future. But if you're saying, all right, humans will never stop asking why, I think that speaks more to our psychology than anything else. But in terms of getting answers, like substantial answers to how things work, I think that can go on forever, and we can always keep getting new answers.
Okay, but this is my opinion, and I do agree. Like religions are man-made, like they definitely are. I don't like argue about religions. They're like definitely made to control humans. So,
But it would seem like you
but
think that at the base of that why is a god.
yeah, when not necessarily God, but something that we can't understand, something our brains cannot comprehend. And
Probably.
I would call it God. And I would call it God. But like for me, it's something that we can't understand.
But that's the why that we should plug in, because essentially what you're saying is there's a god of the gaps, and I need to be able to like traverse this gap, so I'm just gonna call the gap God. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. It's like a cop out.
Yeah, but it's not really something like the God of the gaps, because like I've explained before, I'm not saying like I don't understand how this phenomenon happened and I can't explain, so I'm gonna say God. You know, I'm not like trying to say like I don't understand how evolution happened, so I'm gonna say like this is God. You know, this is what like people in intelligent design are saying. You know, they say like we don't fully understand how this phenomenon, evolution, we don't understand how it's happening. So to fill this gap, we're gonna say God. I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not trying to fit God in some gap. I'm saying like there is like the ultimate question cannot be answered. It's not a gap. It's not something between like how we came from here
And
to here to
try
fill the
try
gap.
and
It's
try and like say the ultimate question in just like a clear, succinct way if you can.
sorry.
What is the ultimate question, as clear as you can possibly make it?
I would say like well, why there is something rather than nothing.
I don't think that's the question you've been asking this whole time.
What do you mean? Like existence? Like why there is something rather than nothing? This is the question that I'm talking about.
But that could be answered by simply saying there was always something. There always has been something.
Yeah, but then this is not an answer. But why
That's
there's
not
something
that's not an
rather
answer
than
you're
nothing?
satisfied with.
No, no,
But
no.
it is an
It's
answer.
not. I'm not. It's not. But then there will be another question. Why is there something? Why there is something rather than nothing? Always. Like why? Why is it
That's the brute
always?
fact part. That's the brute fact part. Because there always was, you know. And I'm not saying that's a sufficient answer either, because it doesn't really suffice for me personally either. But if that is the ultimate question you're asking, why something then nothing, the answer to that question is that there is always something, and the nothing is just a linguistic invention. There is no true nothing. But philosophers would disagree with that, of course. But that is an
Well,
answer to that question.
well, for me, when you say that this is just a brute fact that there is something rather than nothing, for me, I would say no. It's just like you don't know the answer because there is no way for you to know the answer.
But there would have to
Like
be something, either way, right?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There has to be something
So
outside.
that is the
Yeah,
answer. Because there has to be something in order for there to be something, that is the answer to why something instead of nothing. Because
yeah,
there is
but
only something.
yeah, but this something is something that we cannot understand.
Yeah,
It's something
maybe,
beyond our limit.
maybe,
Exactly, it has to be beyond our limit.
the question has an answer though.
No, but I'm saying like this something. We agree that there has to be something that caused this something to happen. What I'm saying that this something is beyond our understanding. It's beyond our limit.
Right, but the question that you said, right, why
It
something
has
instead
to
of
be.
nothing, has an answer. There's only something. It has an answer. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Whether you decide to
Yeah,
call that
but
answer something
okay,
else,
but
that
can
question
we
specifically has an answer. It's not an unanswerable question.
okay, but do you think that we can perceive and understand this something?
I think if it's possible to know, at some point we will know. That's what I think. So yes, essentially, I think it's possible for us to understand it. It may be
But then,
centuries, maybe millennia, it may be next
okay,
weekend, but I think it's
but then,
possible. If it's obtainable, if it can be distilled into knowledge, then it's possible to know.
I disagree because then we'll still because our brain always asks the question why. So when our brain receives this something,
Hmm.
our brain has to ask the question again, why?
Yeah,
Okay,
but that's a
why this
human
something
thing.
exists? Yeah, exactly. Why this something? So if we
Hey,
can perceive it, if we this is my argument. If we perceive it, if you say like we can perceive this something, we can understand it, then we have to ask why.
what do you mean?
Right?
Why we can perceive it?
Like my argument is whatever this something is that caused something rather than nothing can't be perceived by us. Okay, can't be understood by us.
I
Right?
think but you also say that
It
as
is
a brute fact as well.
yeah, it is for me a brute fact that our brain has a limit
Yeah,
that
but
it
that's the
cannot.
problem. The minute you invoke a brute fact in one area, then it's plausible in any area. Like I just said, like you can just say there was always something. So you, I get it. I get what you're trying to say. Don't get me wrong. But it's very
Yeah,
easy to go from like we're actually genuinely trying to figure this thing out into just like hardcore sophistry. Just like here's an answer. No, that's not an answer. I want this answer. Why this? Why that? Like it's very easy
but
to go from like actually trying to get something substantial to just complete ignorant kind of skepticism, like just denial.
but okay, but this
It's
is
like
what this
hard
wasn't.
solipsism, put it that way.
But this wasn't our disagreement from the beginning. This wasn't our disagreement. Our disagreement, like my you disagreed with me because I said like we necessarily have a limit to our brain. We can't know everything. We can't. There is a limit, and you said no.
I
We can
think,
know everything.
yeah, I think if it's possible to know, we can know it. It's a matter of time. It's not necessarily an individual basis. If you think about the pattern of history and how we've evolved, the capabilities, the cognitive faculties we have now versus how older versions of us had, I see no reason to put that brute fact on human potential because we keep outdoing it every time.
Well, I see this different, like because the question that we are trying to answer here is not like any question that got answered before.
Say again,
It's not
sorry?
the same. The question that we are trying to answer here, why there is something rather than nothing. It's not like why the sun revolves around the earth or the earth revolves around the sun, or
Mm-hmm.
it's not about explaining any kind of phenomenon. Why there is rain, why there is seas, why there is stars. It's not about explaining phenomenon, it's about like this question why there is something rather than nothing. It's uniquely different from any other question, and I think like it cannot be answered
If
by
you
us.
separate, yeah, if you separate, like you just said, you separate the scientific approach from the metaphysical approach, yes. But the metaphysical approach can have any answer you decide to give it because it's not based on the natural world. It's not objective. It's going to be intersubjective. So yes, the answers that may be offered to you metaphysically about why something than nothing may not suffice for you, but for somebody they will suffice. But scientifically, I think if it's possible to know, we'll know. But that can only be done from empiricism. I think.
Okay, Well, I think we agree to disagree, but it was nice having this conversation with you. And I apologize in advance. English is not my first
Hey, brother,
language,
no,
and
it's very nice
I
talking to you, bro. You speak very,
yeah,
very good English. Don't do that.
I think I should work more on my English. But thank
Don't
you
do
for
that.
your patience. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you speaking as well, bro. Big up to Mumkin, bro. Have a good day. Alright, I'm gonna have a toilet break. Maybe we change the game. Do you guys want to have a look at the list and decide what we're gonna play next? If you want to see some Just Cause, some Bloodborne, some Dark Souls, some Far Cry, some Sekiro, some Dishonored, you probably don't want to see that. Witcher, maybe? Or some Elden Ring, FIFA. Right, we'll just give you a quick brief look. These are things that are installed that we can play on this console. I haven't played Skate in ages. I reckon that needs an update. Probably haven't got space. FIFA takes up so much. So much. I'm so bad at FIFA, bro. I haven't scored one goal since they gave it out for free. Not one goal. I like 7 matches in the season. Alright, I'll be right back. Go to the toilet. Has it downloaded? Impossible. Oil up break. Hey, that's disgusting. Gotta make sure you stay hydrated, guys. It's like 28 degrees, 29 degrees now. To get off this damn internet. Whew. Alright, so anyone else want to come up and have a chat for a bit? We've been live just over 2 hours now, I reckon. It's usually a sweet spot to end there, but I'll hang about for a bit. I want to give this game another try, but it was so bad. It was so bad. Who? I didn't make anyone angry. Well, maybe the truth guy was angry. Maybe he was angry. Like, if he just like, for instance, he sounded West Indian, right? So I understand his speech style. Right? He reminds me of relatives. But if he would just be able to approach conversations in like a more reasonable way, he wouldn't have got angry. But it's just like, yeah, he was riled up from the beginning. But it's just it's probably just passion in it. I can't lie, it is entertaining when I get like that as well. Yeah, he's probably sitting there saying, "This blood clot, you talking about got this, got that." Probably that's probably what he was saying the whole time before he came up. So he's probably vexed for even come on. But that being said, like, you can be angry, but you still got to let that other person speak, you know, as much as possible. Being angry is totally fine, but still keep some civility. Let's see if this game will work quickly. It's been so long. It's gonna be so bad as well. Nah, it's not done. It's 48%. You're not talking about it in the chat. Damn right, I'm still playing my PS4. I'll be playing my PS4 in 2036, 2046, as long as it still works. Technically, if it never breaks, I'll play it forever. I still play my PS3, I still play my PS2. If I had my other consoles when I was a kid, I'd still play them as well. I just never realised the value of keeping them all. So let that be a lesson to you. Keep your consoles. There's going to be a time when owning your games is going to be way more important than being able to plug in the internet and play them. That time is kind of upon us, to be honest. It's only going to get worse. Yeah, I agree, Johan. Is it Johan? Am I calling your name right? Is it Johan? I'm saying the same thing. Yeah, that's right, bro. If I had kept every console I've ever had, man, I'd have so much more fun. What I need to do is get one of those devices where you can plug in old consoles to a HDMI. Yeah, I guess since no one's given a game request, we're gonna be trying Skate. I feel like giving Just Cause a shot. It's a bit bloody though. Turn to God before it's too late. Hey, Kay, I tried to speak to you. You dropped down straight away. Yo.
Yes, brother.
How you doing, bro?
I'm alright. How are you?
Not too bad. You sound very laid back.
Yeah, you know, because it's peace. When
Peace,
there's God in your heart, you know?
Alright. I hear it. What do you want to talk about?
Huh?
What do you want to talk about?
Is that a prompt that you want to know more, or is it something?
No, like obviously.
You change your mind.
Well, yeah, if you can change my mind, I'm down for that. If you want to, but you know, people see the prompt, but they actually want to talk about something else. So I just offer that opportunity. If you want to talk about something other than the prompt.
Well, I'm not trying to change your mind, because if you don't know you exist,
look at that
you
assumption.
don't know God exists.
Look at that assumption. It's like that's a seeding right there. Bro's trying to forge an identity for me. He's forging an identity for me.
Saying assumptions,
he says
why don't you just listen to what I said? I didn't say anything assumption.
Yes, of course you did.
Or you, not
you said I don't think I exist.
Well, that's because the question suggests that.
No, it doesn't at all. Well, unless you're trying to say I'm God.
Let's put it that way. He's inside of you and he looks just like you.
So let's start like this then, alright? What kind of God do you believe in?
Well, the one that made you and me.
So does it have a specific name?
A name is a title, like Mr.
Yeah, just God is also a title.
Right, that's a title too. So
sure.
Don't go off of that.
But I'm asking to get a better understanding of what we're going to be discussing. Right? So if we can't define what a God is, then how are we going to know if it's true? What evidence could we find for it if we can't define it?
Well, if I can give you scriptures, I would, but I guess you're not on that tip.
So are you a Christian?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. No labeling.
Why not? Don't be ashamed to be. Don't be ashamed to be a Christian. What is it like? So you get like 3 chances.
Listen,
don't get 3 chances. Are you a Christian? That was 2.
What do you define?
Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? That is 3. That is 3. Right, so I asked you 3 times. Are you a Christian?
Brother, let somebody speak. It's not about your questioning.
Of course it is.
It's like you're trying to interview yourself about are you a human being?
No, I'm interviewing you. I'm asking you qualifying questions.
I'm answering your question.
So are you a Christian?
I'm answering your questions about how
you're embarrassed to be a Christian, ain't you? Are you a Christian or not?
Answering my question.
Just answer, brother. Just in good faith. I ask in good faith. Someone who follows Christ and the Bible. Right, that's a Christian.
There you go. I am. Yes, I am.
Alright, so he asked you 3 times. You denied the man 3 times, yeah?
Well, because I didn't know what you
Alright,
mean by that.
remember that,
Because
yeah? Alright,
many people have
remember that.
different understandings.
Remember that. If God is watching,
have a different understanding of that.
if God is watching, he saw that.
Anyway,
That was 3 times me asking a question.
You can keep smirking and mocking.
It's not a mock.
But
No, don't take it that way, right?
believe me,
It's not a mockery.
You will be visited. You will be visited by the Holy Spirit.
It's
You
not a
realize
mockery, right?
How much you're going to be chastised.
Yeah,
for your
I'm fine.
misunderstanding.
I'm fine with that, right?
That's good.
Because
That's
I
good.
walk in
hope you're
truth.
ready.
I walk in truth.
I hope
So
you're
I'm
ready.
okay with that, right? No matter the
So why is
consequences,
the question?
I do what I
Why
think
is
is
the
right
question?
at the time when I
What is
do
the
it.
question
Right?
for then?
So the question
What
is
is
to
the
get some
question for?
clarity on what we're going to be discussing. Okay, that's what the question's for.
Seek your spirit inside, the spirit of your Father. Don't get
That's
clarity from
cool.
people online.
That's cool.
They will break you.
It's about a conversation, right? So I asked that question to get an understanding of what you mean when you start using the word God. That's why I ask.
Okay, so you're a believer.
No.
See, that's the thing. If you're not a believer of a creator, let's take away the word God.
So there's
Let's
all
just put a
kinds of
creator.
creators, though. Right? Ancient
If you're not
Sumerians
a
believed in a
believer,
creator.
the same game you're playing, there's
Ancient
a creator
Egyptians.
for it as well.
But listen, brother, yeah.
So do you believe in them?
Ancient Sumerians believed in a creator god. Ancient Egyptians believed in a creator
Who
god.
gave you that term,
Ancient
ancient Sumerian?
Ancient
You don't have
Greeks.
any idea what you're saying.
What are you talking about,
Look
right?
at that, ancient
What are you talking
Sumerian,
about?
ancient
Sumerians
this.
from the Levant, Mesopotamians, yeah? I know what I'm
You
talking
are the
about.
Sumerian.
Right,
You
sure,
understand?
sure, stop dodging, right?
You keep trying to
Stop
mess
dodging,
your
stop
life.
dodging, right? Ancient Egyptians
You're
believed in a
fool.
creator god. Ancient Sumerians believed in a creator god. Ancient Greeks believed in a creator god. You believe in a creator god, but all of those gods aren't the same to the individual people, right? The God of the Bible isn't the same as Inanna, Ishtar, whatever. Well, technically he's bitten off of them, but he's not the same as Ra, right? So that being said, you believe in a specific type of creator god, so that entails specific things, right? This guy dropped down, bruv. Typical sophist, isn't it? Man, run. Fire on him. Talking all that talk. You can't even be honest about his bloody beliefs. How embarrassing. Bloody ran away. Anyways, let's see what this game's saying. It's been so long since I've been on this. Why are they offering me this? Let's put it to defaults. It's crazy, man. You shouldn't be embarrassed on what you believe, bro. Playing on TikTok will send you to hell as well, Moses. But we didn't even get to that because you ran away. You're scared. You're scared of so many things. You couldn't even have a conversation. Scared of who you actually are. Maybe you don't know who you actually are. That's the problem. That's probably the problem. Sure. How can one mock a god if we don't even know which god we're talking about? Go read Matthew 6 and 5. Pray for yourself, man. Keep it to yourself. Gosh. It's like crazies on the internet, though. Was having a good laugh as well, Moses. It's a shame. Not living up to the name. Damn shame. Couldn't even lead your people to a TikTok. I'm joking. No, just messing, bro. It's your own fault, bro. I wouldn't be cracking jokes if you was just being decent. He's being disingenuous. Bad representation. Pray harder, quickly. Oh, yeah. Man, this game's gonna take a while. Okay. Okay. It's Matthew 6, 5 and 6. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites. Let's go on. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close your door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So you telling me you're going to pray for me is just performative. Jesus didn't rate that either. But hey, did he even exist? These are the questions. I'm just playing. Skipped.
Looks like we gotta hit up Jarvis to start.
It's been so long since I played this. And I'm just as trash as the day I left. Now that I'm seeing this, I kind of don't even want to play it. It's too much to remember. Like, Skate will never be better than Tony Hawk's. I'm sorry. Like, the analog setup is trash. Buttons will always be better. Yeah. Yo, I ain't got one, Johan. Let's go play something else, bud. Since, yeah, why not? What do you mean it looks like a game for black people? Because my character's black? Or just because skating is cool in general? Ah, that's a hard question, you know? Monster is up there in the top 3. Naruto is up there. It's very hard to give you a top 3. Maybe I could try and give you a 10. So you have Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter, Dorohedoro, currently. It's like one of the best. JJK's in there. Bleach when Ichigo's not on the screen. One Piece is in there. There's a few, man. It's too much to go into. Yeah, Monster's great. It can be a lot to look into. Like the story, like. So have you ever watched Pluto? I think it's Pluto, written by the same guy. Whoever he is who makes those, forget his name. He should make movies because the way he's able to do like thriller, mystery, murder mystery, and thriller in animation. If he just brings that to the big silver screen, like he will make a hit. Attack on Titan's alright. Not necessarily in my tops though. It's just like the animation style's a bit dry. It's like it reminds me of like webtoons. The ending was shitty as well. First season of what's it called again? The one with Thorfinn. That's good. What do we want? I used to draw quite often, not anymore though. I used to. I only get time to try. I just seen Tekken's getting Yujiro from bloody Baki. It's crazy, isn't it? That's it, Vinland Saga. That's it. Yeah, Tekken's getting back Yujiro. They announced it the other night or something like that. I haven't got to play Tekken in so long. Need to get a new console, man. So many games I actually do want to play. Chances are by the time I buy a new console, it's not going to be worth playing them. Yeah. Well, they didn't show his character design, though. They just showed the animations. So his character design could be pretty poor. I think that's probably why they held off showing the character design itself. Bloody hell, Ryu, mate. I haven't even played 7 in ages, to be fair. Like, for me, Street Fighter has been the only kind of game that I've continued to play. Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur, all of them kind of like fell to the wayside ever since Street Fighter 4. There's just not been any point in really playing them. To me, anyways. So as I'm not like that into it. Right, where is he? I've got like a third-party controller. It's really bad with the D-pad, so it's hard to do the like typical moves with it. See, ironically, Tekken 4 is when I fell off Goatman, right? I grew up playing 1, 2, 3 and Tag, right? That was mine, and Tekken Tag 2. When it became 4, at that point, I was like more interested in San Andreas, probably Max Payne. Well, not Max Payne's well earlier than that, actually. More likely San Andreas, Kingdom of Hearts at that kind of time. And Marvel vs. Capcom on an arcade machine. So at that point, I was kind of over it. I didn't much enjoy the design change. I came back at Tekken 6 though, PS3. And then Tekken vs Street Fighter, which I sometimes play still, which is pretty shit, but it's a good gimmick. Damn it. I'm so rusty. Bruv. No, I'm dead. Look, I enjoyed Kingdom of Hearts a lot more when I was younger, but like as an adult, it's super cheesy. Soundtrack's great though, but it is super cheesy. As a kid, it's pretty dope. Like you can see all these Disney characters in this little made-up world. I wasn't a big fan of Final Fantasy, but Kingdom of Hearts 1, 2, I think it's like 2.5 or something like that. I'm not sure if I've played 3. It's just like a remix or some shit. And Final Fantasy 8 remake, 7 remake, I think, one with Cloud. They're decent, but they're essentially the same damn game. It is cheesy, right? It is very cheesy. As a kid, it's very interesting. I ain't got top 3 games either. I did try and play it again, like maybe last year. I was like, right, I can't really sit through this shit. So fucking Mickey Mouse and Goofy follow me around and shit. Am I 50? Yes. I'm actually approaching 70, some say. Am I 50? Speaking of heat, it's almost 30 degrees. I mean, I'll take it. So I used to be the high school kid going clubbing with adults, so I'll take it. I don't recommend anyone do that though. It's really stupid. But yeah, I'll take it. Breaking my heart, fam. Of course I play Bloodborne. I'm on another playthrough of it right now. May even pivot to that in a minute. I don't know. Don't know, Johan. I've had a few annoying ones, but nothing too serious. Bloodborne is great, but there's certain bits of it that really just annoy me. You know, you can be a Christian and believe in evolution, right? Like, you don't have to be completely anti-science. Do you know some of Darwin's earliest funders were Christians? You realise that, right? You don't. I know you don't. Can't even get a fight anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yes, you can be a Christian and believe in evolution. Be in any religion and believe in evolution. Technically, evolution isn't in contradiction with God's. It's just like less critical thinking religious people try to make science and religion opposed to each other when they're not. They're not even on the same level, not even in the same class. It's just that they're too lazy. No, not necessarily. But that being said, you're not supposed to take Genesis as an actual account of history anymore because there's too much evidence to the contrary. But you could say, for instance, like, whatever type of humans God made aren't the types of humans that exist today by that kind of standard as well. But there are definitely Christians who accept evolution, so I can tell you. How they reconcile it, I'm not quite sure. Shit, any lineage go from two people that set the ball off rolling is kind of stupid. Oh yeah, you did a great job of like convincing me of that, okay? So convincing. It's like saying, oh, why are they pairing me with masters, bro? Like I'm a gold free. What are they doing? Nice purple gi. I said ... triple G. What in the world are they thinking? Street Fighter, like, if you leave it for a while, come back, it's trying to slot you into your like league, so it's testing you with different people. Taking a piss, mate. Or Masters having a series of really bad games with a player, so because that ain't playing like a master. You definitely have a hard time taking it. Like trying to take it literal in the first place. Yeah, you got me there. This purple's given Hulk shorts. Oh yeah, now he's played a bit more like a master. No waste. Yeah, he's got me out of there. Who, me, Centaur? West Indian means a combination of African and Indian. The more derogatory term would be coolie. But yeah, my parents are on both sides African and Indian mixed. So it's a bit weird. It's possible there's both, like, Indus Valley Indian and Native American Indian. It's possible there's some mixture of both. Maybe more like Taino kind of lineage, but I don't know for certain. You're South Italian, is that what your accent was? I was trying to figure out what it was yesterday. What is your accent? Nah, he's playing like a master boy. Too slow. I think the D-pad does have something to do with it though. Slapped. So where are you actually from? Hey, bro's mocking it. Neapolitan. I'm basically a target practice for this guy. Okay. Yeah, they have good ice cream. Do you know what? I actually had ice cream for the first time in ages yesterday. I'm gonna have some more today. He's mocking it. He's right though. Bro, from a gold free, like, give me a break. Because you created pizza. I mean, pizza's okay, but it's not a top level food. It's okay. I'm not. I mean, I haven't tried many Italian foods to be fair, but it's okay. Yeah, Captain Pizza's great. Nah, England is. I don't think they've. I think they've only won it once. Was it like the 60s or something? Am I wrong? England's not going to win a World Cup. I haven't followed World Cup in a long time myself, bro. Since I was like a little kid. Maybe 2 caps, two wins I've got. But yeah, football's been shit for like well over 3 decades. Bro. It's been really shit. But that's just my opinion. I think it's time to end the stream now anyways. Like, we've ran everyone away with all kinds of talks and all types of games. It's time to go get some food. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Probably not going to come back on because it's kind of late. So hope you had something to think about. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Yeah, ice cream maybe, pizza no. Maybe, nah. I'm having steak. Alright, so I'll see you later.